Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to get an S plus rank on the professional difficulty on Resident Evil 4 Remake. Throughout the run I'll be using no glitches or bonus items, so things like Ashley's armor and bonus weapons will not be used at all during the run. This run is also a no damage segmented run, so I won't be using healing items at all, although I will be selling some of them for extra money, but I did my best to work in extra healing items that I don't sell, so that if you are following this as a guide, you'll have healing items you can use to help get you through. If you're looking for help with a certain segment or chapter, in the description you can find timestamps for the saves that I make, and in the pinned comment below this video you can find timestamps that link to different chapters. Also, if you're following along with me at any point you want to reload your save, it's best to quit to the main menu and load from there so that you can avoid adding extra time to the in-game clock. Thanks for checking out the video. Let's get this going. Okay, so chapter 1, skipping these cutscenes. I'm sure you all know this by now, it's all very straightforward stuff. Some of you may be thinking, why are you redoing this run? You've already done a no damage run. And a couple of reasons, mainly because I felt like the other run I did was a little bit too long and I could definitely do it a lot quicker. And even though technically it's a new game run, I did actually use sunglasses, and someone in the comments section actually pointed out that those prevent Leon from being stunned by flashbangs, and I didn't know that. So I wanted to redo the run without using them, because I felt like I cheated a little bit, but I wanted to do better. So here we are, cut down by an hour, and I probably mentioned this in the intro, but this run does use some more advanced technical strategies. So if you are struggling to follow any of these strategies, check out the other guide. I'll touch back on that in a moment. To get up these stairs a little bit quicker, when this guy lunges at you, you can just aim at him and sort of dodge to the side. You just sort of sprint sideways and then run up the stairs. If you see me crouching upstairs, it's a technique called stair skating, which allows you to go up and down stairs, well, up stairs a little bit faster. Not all stairs, just most of them. Picking up that herb there and facing the camera in the right direction and quickly aiming allows Leon to quick turn. One thing you're really going to want to get your head around in this run is sort of like turning your camera around Leon whilst moving in different directions. It's kind of just a basic third person shooter mechanic that comes in really handy. It's possible on controller and mouse and keyboard. Obviously on mouse and keyboard you can turn your camera a bit quicker, but you can still do it on controller. I used to play on controller a hell of a lot back in the day, so I'm fairly confident that these strategies can be done on controller, maybe not as quickly, but can still definitely be done. There's nothing that's impossible. Here's a quick example. If you run into this little house here and face the camera back towards the door, you can quick turn and avoid the guy hitting you. You kind of want to judge what's happening there. Sometimes if you feel like he's going to hit you, you can just run further into the room, but having the camera facing the door and then running into the building kind of just prepares you to exit the building quickly. And like I said, if you've got the camera pointing in a certain direction, if you tap the aim button, Leon will face that direction quickly, allowing you to quickly change directions where you're running. Really handy stuff, really handy. So in this area we're going to go with the grenade strat this time, like I mentioned before. If any of these strategies are going over your head a bit, check out the other video. I'll try to come back to that. We want to shoot at this guy until we hear Leon say, "Here we go," and then jump through the window, shoot open the barrel and grab the grenade. And then that'll give us enough time to get into this room and chuck a nade in and hopefully kill a cluster of enemies. If there's anyone left alive, you might want to quickly stab a couple. And you also want to be quick to watch your back, because if you didn't kill this guy that we were originally shooting at, he's going to be hanging around outside. The objective before we get into this building that has the shotgun in is to try and attract enemies over to it a little bit, which is why I go out the back window and sort of spend a little bit of time dodging enemies and coming up here, grabbing the shotgun, and the other grenade is in here. I'll explain more about this strategy in a moment when we get past it. It's kind of hard to hit all at once. If any enemy is jumping up the ladder, just shoot them back down, hop out the window here, be careful of anyone to your right as you come out. And you want to chuck a grenade here. Hopefully doing that will kill enough enemies to get the bell to ring. If it doesn't, you want to jump down just like I did there and shoot a couple with the shotgun. Essentially you need to get 15 kills, and those 2 grenade setups allow you to get that really fast. There is a faster strategy that's being used a little bit recently, involving running past the cow and using the flash grenade. But I haven't learned that one yet, and that one's just fine for this run. I'm not going for the craziest, fastest strategies, but you know, just ones that can help us get through relatively quickly. But yeah, that area can play out a bunch of different ways, just because different enemies can be in different places. So you kind of need to be careful and adapt on the fly as to what you're doing. In the village right now, we're just grabbing up a few loot items. There is another green herb next to the clock tower, and also up in the clock tower there's a green herb. You saw me grab one there. If you want to take a bit of extra time to loot those extra green herbs, obviously I'm not going to be using them, but feel free to grab them if you want to follow this guide and get extra heals for yourself along the way. Just grabbing that ruby, make sure you grab that. There's some handgun ammo in the little hut to the right as well. Kind of handy to get those treasures just for selling. We need loot. I'm cutting out a few treasures throughout this run, but that I did get in my previous one, but a lot of them are still there. You kind of need them. One thing that I thought about as well with this run is I sold a lot of the first aid sprays that I picked up, and obviously if you're following this guide, you might not go for no damage. You might just use it to get through, and you might take hits, so you'll want to use some heals, right? There's another heal over there by the way shrine if you want to go and get it. It's another green herb. And this time I don't blow up this, or disconnect it. I duck under it to use it against an enemy. We're going to grab this yellow herb and go upstairs as well. So yeah, I didn't sell any first aid sprays at all throughout this run. I still sell the green, red, and yellow herbs because they're worth 10k, especially in the beginning. It's really important to sell those so that we can get upgraded weapons fast. But you will be able to use the first aid sprays as you want. I just store them. I pretty much just chuck them out my inventory and put them into storage. So feel free to use those or sell those if you want to. It's up to you how you use them. I thought it was a little bit unfair for me to just be selling those considering you might be using them. Although, to be honest, you might not want to use them too frequently, try not to use too many heals, or you might end up being screwed later on throughout the run. It's always a good idea to retry sections and try and get through taking less damage if you work in save to save trying to get the S+. This area is all pretty straightforward. If you follow the same path I did there, it always kind of plays out the same. The only thing that can be a little bit different is this area when you're running across the bridge. Again, using the quick turn there to just quickly turn around after putting the cog in. This enemy can sometimes be here, sometimes she's not. So just get her out of the way with the shotgun. She was kind of in my way right there. So you might be wondering where my saves are. My first save is in the middle of, I think, chapter 3. It's a really good idea to push your first save back as much as you can. There's one really dangerous area in chapter 2, but apart from that, chapter 2 is quite straightforward. Chapter 3 as well, there's a lot of stuff you can easily get past. Again, you might take a hit or two, but you'll be fine. And I think it's just a good idea to try and push that first save back for a while until you really need to use it, and that can just help you out later in the run. If you're working chapter to chapter, it can be really tricky in some chapters because there are boss fights right at the end after really long stretches of dealing with enemies. You can just always run past that enemy, by the way. She will sometimes do the charge at you, so be ready with the shotgun. You can kind of see her rev up that charge. So be ready if she does start running at you with the pitchfork. A lot of the time though, she just gets close to you and goes for a normal attack. Again, a lot of the stuff in this game is RNG based. You're going to have to be ready to adapt on the fly as to what's going to happen. Missed my shot on that bear trap there, but we want to deactivate it, and coming straight through here, this enemy will always get stuck in this bear trap. You can just run past her. You want to be ready for these two guys with axes. Sometimes there'll be two guys here, sometimes there's one, and you just want to dodge their axes. If this enemy runs at you, shoot him. Shoot this pitchfork guy as well. He's kind of annoying. He usually lunges at you around that area somewhere. Sometimes he's over to the right, and you just need to be careful of him. But their placements are usually relatively similar in that area. Opening up this cupboard, coming in here, disarming this trap. And there's another cupboard in here as well for us to open. We're pretty much done with chapter 1 now. The hardest part of chapter 1 is the village section. Getting that right is hard enough, and you'll probably have to practice it a bit to get that strategy down. But doing it without getting hit once is really, really annoying. But it kind of helps a lot, just because even if you're not doing, you know, a no damage run, and you're just going through an S+, just getting through there quickly and not getting hit just helps you save heals, you know. But you should come out of chapter 1 with, I think, 2 first aid sprays, and there's also a bunch of green herbs around. I think I grabbed a couple. I think I need 3 green herbs by the time we reach chapter, I think it's chapter 4. When we're in chapter 4, we need 3 green, red and yellow mixed. And there's a couple extra I grab as well. You'll see me from time to time throwing away heals. I'll just discard them or store them up, and they're just heals you can use. Later in the run, you may be able to get away with using some red, green and yellows, but I'd say definitely get the body armor when it becomes available. I don't buy it because I don't really need it, but I'd say it'd probably be a good idea for you to get it if you're struggling. But at times in this run, loot can be really, really tight. I tried to make better use of the loot I was getting. So we want to take out that enemy, and when we come in here, if this guy sort of points at you for a second, wait around in this area for him to start moving towards you. We kind of want him to attack. Sometimes he just doesn't, like he did for me here. A lot of the time though, he'll swing his axe, and if he does do that, just run at him and run to his left side, and then he'll miss and you'll be able to stab him a few times. That guy always drops a green herb, so it's a good idea to get rid of him, and then you can open up the furnace to get a sapphire as well out of that furnace. And then you can just crouch down and sneak up on that guy like I did for an easy kill, and that's all the enemies in this area dealt with. In the other furnace back where we got the sapphire is some handgun bullets as well if you want them. I just kind of left them because I was in a bit of a rush, but yeah, they're there if you want to go and grab them. Like I said, if you're really struggling to copy any of these strategies, I will keep mentioning this because I feel like some people will probably be skipping chapters and whatnot. If you're really struggling to follow any of these strategies, I've done a run where the strategies are a little easier to copy. It is longer. It's a 4-hour run. Go into the merchant here, selling a couple of kitchen knives and the green, red and yellow herb that we crafted. When we come out of there, we can grab the rifle ammo. One thing to make note of is that you can go into the typewriter storage and the game timer doesn't continue. So if you go in there and you want to mess with your inventory, it won't add to the time in game, so you can like rearrange stuff or mix things together, craft items. Taking out that enemy and coming up here, when you get to the top, shoot the barrel and that will distract the enemies in the area, allowing you to come down here nice and easily. When you get to the top of that ladder, you don't really want to move, you just want to stay there and shoot that barrel, and that will drag enemies over, and then we'll come around the back of this house and jump through. Look out for this guy in the blue shirt. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not, but if he is there, he's going to be in your way, so you need to shotgun him. I like to shotgun the other guy there as well, but you want to open the locker that's just to the right of the window we jumped through, because it's got a flashbang in it and you want that flashbang. When you come up this ladder, you need to look out for the guy with the dynamite stick that I just blew up. Again, sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. Just be ready for it. Sometimes he just throws a dynamite at you and it'll completely miss, but you want to be ready to shoot the dynamite out of his hand to get rid of him, because he's just a bit of a nuisance. This is a really risky area because of dynamite, so you just want to be careful. When you come up here, sometimes there'll be 2 guys here on the left, and if there is, you kind of want to shotgun him back. But he was back by the barrel for me here again. It's a little bit random as to where he will be, but I like to just use the pistol to blow those guys up in that area. Be careful when approaching that barrel after you've blown it up, because a guy with dynamite might drop some. You might want to hang back for a second for it to blow up and then push in. Throw a flashbang at the enemies that are behind you, then turn the wheel, jump down here, shotgun this lady. There's a yellow herb and a first aid spray in this building that you might want to grab, which is kind of useful. And then we can open up the door with the knife to exit, and we're out of that area. Oh, it's kind of hard to explain some of these strategies quickly, man, but I'll do my best, and hopefully you can just sort of watch what I'm doing and figure out your own path a little bit sometimes. You know, if you need to adapt or do different things because certain things aren't working for you, that's fine. Just, you know, find what works for you. But after that section, this chapter's pretty much done. That's chapter 1 and 2 done. Chapter 3 hasn't really got much danger in it until we get to the fishing village, so that's going to be where we make our first save in chapter 3. So we're going to stick to the left and shotgun that guy in the back. There's some handgun bullets on the left. We'll crouch under here, grab the large resources, and there's a chest here with a sapphire in it. When you come back out of this area, make sure you've got the shotgun loaded, and we will look out for this lady here because she can chuck an axe at us. We can use this stair skating technique to get up these stairs a little bit quicker. What you want to do that is release sprint momentarily and then crouch and then immediately press sprint again, and it will sort of give Leon a little boost up the stairs. It's kind of a little speedrunner trick. Doesn't work on all stairs, just some of them. I still kind of don't know which ones it works on and which ones it doesn't. You can experiment a little if you like. But yeah, there's some stairs that I do know it works on, that you'll see me using it on. So when you shoot down the treasure and knock down that well cover, you want to make sure that you're staying a little bit further back and not running too far into that area. If you run into the area and then shoot the treasure down, the chainsaw guy will hear you and come in. So try to look where I was shooting and shoot from there. That'll stop him from running in. Watch out for the bear traps, obviously, and then he'll just be standing by the trap, allowing you to duck under it and get away from him. And you can get that bird's nest. Make sure if you're following along with me here, you grab the hand grenade that's on the cupboard. If you missed it, backtrack a little bit and check where I picked it up. It's in the house just before we unlock that that cupboard. And then if you do what I did there and sort of run along the wall and then move towards the small key, that guy will lunge at you, and then you can pick up the small key and then run back the way he came, and he'll have finished his lunge, allowing you to get past him nice and easy. And then we're up here slapping in the marble thing. Get the insignia key, handgun ammo. You can grab the handgun ammo first if you like. But you kind of get a second or two after you pick up the key in which you can grab the handgun ammo, which is kind of nice. I know I am moving pretty fast through some of these strategies, so if you're struggling to follow, then feel free to slow it down, rewind, have a little look. I'm sorry if I'm not keeping up with the gameplay too well, talking about strategies and stuff. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I'll try to help you. So we're not going to save the dog, but this is kind of a choice for you here. I don't want to save the dog. Well, I don't want to approach the dog and save it. Because that will make the Gigante fight a little bit longer. It makes it slightly harder, but it also makes it quite a bit longer. So I like to shoot the trap the dog's in, and that'll free the dog. I'm not a monster. I'm not going to leave the dog in the trap. But, you know, if you walk up and pull him out of the trap manually and you get that cutscene, then he'll interrupt the Gigante fight. It does make the Gigante fight a little bit easier, but it also makes it longer, so I just want to do it the way I'm used to doing it, which is without the dog. Last time I think I saved the dog, and like I said, it makes it a tad easier. Run straight past this lady when you get in here. You want to make a beeline for that door that's locked. And when the clock tower falls down, you might notice that Leon gets stunned. If you aim your gun while he's getting stunned, it'll break him out of the sun, allowing you to move quicker. You need to get in that house before the dogs attack you. Coming in here, don't open the cupboards that are in this room that have got ammo in them, except for the one you see me open in a second. You can get the velvet blue hanging from the ceiling. There's a first aid spray on the table, and there's also some shotgun shells in that drawer. The reason we're not going to go out, I'm going to store away some of these first aid sprays because I've got 4 of them, and that's a little too much for my liking. I need to make a little bit of space. I'm not going to get a case upgrade just yet, but yeah, we'll sort that out. Right, so
something new for you.
I'm buying I think the flashbang recipe here and just setting up the green, red and yellows, making a little bit of spare change for later. Getting some stuff out of the inventory as well, making a little bit of space. Make sure you shoot down the rifle ammo that's here. Yeah, the reason we're not opening those cupboards is we come back through the church in chapter 5, and you can open them then to get better ammo, basically. Right now we're not really that bad for ammo, but if you're in a tough spot in chapter 5, you can open them and get some decent ammo for that chapter, where it's far more important to have ammo. Struggling to stab up these gravestones. There's a chicken egg that comes out of that nest if you want it, which is just a healing item. I don't want that because I don't need it and it's just space in my inventory, but if you do want to take it for a little extra healing, feel free. And we can get out of this area. So around the back of the church here is a large resources and an elegant headdress that we're going to grab. I'm pretty sure you can grab these in chapter 5, although I've never tested that. I'm fairly sure you can, but I like to grab them here just to have them to sell up in chapter 4. It's a good idea to have loot to upgrade the rifle which we need to get sorted out for El Gigante. There's a yellow diamond in that drawer you might want to grab. Go ahead and get that. Decent, decent. So, when you come through here, there's a very consistent strategy you can do that helps you out a ton. If you run inside and open up this drawer and flick the camera around, pick up the gunpowder and use Leon's aim thing we talked about, bait this guy into a throw. I didn't actually shoot the barrel here, but if you shoot the barrel, it makes this section a little bit easier. The kind of, I think it's the barrel you're going to see me drop down next to here. Yeah, it's on this side. If you shoot that barrel, it'll make this dude with the beard climb up and stop him from being in your way. Also, when you drop down there, make sure you do it on the left side of the barrel, the ladder, as far as you can into the corner of that drop down area, and it will stop the two enemies that are in front of you by that trap from spawning. They just won't spawn in. It's really, really useful tip. So when we get to here, we're going to slap out our flashbang into the middle of these crows, and that'll stun up the two dogs, but it also takes out all of the crows. If you haven't got it, that'll get you an achievement or a trophy as well for taking out 3 enemies at once. We're going to run up and stab the one dog, and then we can use the pistol to take out the other dog. We're fast approaching our first save point. We're like 20 odd minutes in. We're going to get the medallion up there and also shoot the lantern down to get a little bit of extra treasure. Grab up all the loot that the crows dropped, which is decent. All of this stuff is going to come to good use. Speedrunners just shoot a couple of crows and don't really use a flashbang there, but one thing I'm going to switch up in this run is the case that we're using, because at the moment we're using a the standard case, and pretty much that just gives you extra handgun ammo, and we're going to change that for the black case that gives you large resources, which is really, really handy throughout this run. Alright, so this is our first save, chapter 3. Alright, so when you gain control again, come into the storage. Time doesn't add to the game timer while you're in here. I'm crafting up a couple of flash grenades that we're going to need. We got 2 right now. And we're also going to grab this hexagon piece that we're going to go and use in chapter 4. I tried to cut down the amount of time I spend in chapter 4 because it was really, really long previously. But yeah, we'll come to that when we get to it. So this next section is a little bit intimidating, but to be honest, if you take the same path as me, it's really not that tough. I'll talk about different things that can happen as you're running through. You kind of just want to run through this area, to be honest. It can be a little frustrating. When you get to here, you can shoot down this nest, and when you get around the corner in a minute, it drops shotgun ammo. If you look carefully, you'll see it in the tree. If you take a look in the tree, you can see it. Run straight past the brute. You can stealth attack that brute if you want to, but I feel like it kind of messes up this route. So be ready to shotgun that granny that's on the corner by the shotgun shells there that fell out of the nest. Sometimes she can be a little bit closer, so just be ready with the shotgun to shoot her if she is close. Sometimes this guy is standing in front of the barrel. If he is, just shoot the barrel. If not, get closer to the door and then shoot the barrel, and that'll just get rid of him and stop him from bursting into this room. There's a chicken egg on the table if you want it. Grab the boat fuel and then dust back out of the room. When you come out of that room, be ready for enemies. There could be an enemy on the door, the brute could be there, be ready to evade, or just use your shotgun to push him back. When you get to here, we can shoot this guy and push him into the trap, which is kind of nice, stops him from shooting us down here. And then when you come back up here, be ready for enemies. I got really lucky and actually shot 3 of them back with 1 shot, but you might need to use another shot there to knock all of those guys down. I like to throw a grenade over the edge here just to knock these enemies back. If you haven't got, I think I've got 4 grenades at this point, so you might want to be careful. If you haven't got as many grenades as me, maybe think about not using one there, because you do actually need the grenades a little bit later. But if you're getting lucky with grenades and just finding them, feel free to just chuck one there. There is one in the fishing village, but we're going to go back and grab that in the next chapter, so don't worry about it for now. You might be thinking, well, you picked up that one medallion, you didn't get the others. And that's because we're going to go back for those medallions when there's no enemies in the fishing village during chapter 4. So for Del Lago, we want to reduce the frame rate to 60 if we're on PC, because the waves around Del Lago are much lower at 60 frames per second. So there's really not a lot that's frame rate affected in this game. I play on a 60Hz 4K monitor anyway. I just run at 120 so that I can interact with stuff faster. That's pretty much it, to be honest. So a couple of tricks for Del Lago. When you're throwing spears at him, obviously don't miss. But if you release aim in between each throw, Leon actually throws faster. So basically you want to make Leon sit down in between each throw. And if you hit him 20, I think it's 20 times during his first phase, he'll die in that first phase, like the first cycle. And the pattern that's pretty much going on with me right now is the same every time. So if you watch this fight, it will be the same for you. If you hit that barrel with a spear, which I managed to fail on, you get 1,000 pesetas, so it might be worth hitting. If you saw where I lined up the spear there with the castle, he always pops out there, so you can kind of figure out when he's going to pop out and always hit him as he comes out of the water. So there we go. Really quick fight with Del Lago if you follow that strategy. Kind of helpful to drop your frame rate. If you're on console, you may be thinking, I can't drop my frame rate. That's fine. You're already playing at 60 frames, so don't worry about it. It's fine. There's really very little advantage to frame rate stuff in this game compared to other Resident Evils, and I'm only seeing 60 frames on my screen anyway. The game is running at a higher frame rate because I have VSync turned off, but I'm only seeing 60 of them, and I do have a higher frame rate monitor. I just prefer to play on my 4K one. Some of you mentioned in my previous video that the video was a little bit dark, and I have turned the brightness up a little bit for that, to compensate for that. I guess the only other thing I would say is maybe if it's really bad, you might want to think about turning the brightness up on your end. I can't really, I can't really do anything about it. So when the cutscene with this guy plays the first Plagas head that you see, if you aim Leon's gun as soon as the cutscene starts, it'll kick him out of the cutscene and give you control of Leon again, allowing you just to run past that guy. And then the guy with the machete, if you just sweep to the left of him and then to the right, sort of in a snake pattern, he'll miss you every time. It's a really consistent little strategy. There's a few areas where you can use that cutscene thing where like an in-game cutscene sort of plays, and you can make Leon aim and it will just kick you out of the cutscene. It's a really helpful little thing for some areas. Having trouble picking up the Way Shrine key here, but I got to it in the end. Right, so hopping on the boat, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and get one of the heads. We want to get this out of the way because it's pretty much the only area in this chapter where we have to fight, unless you count getting snakes as fighting, which I don't really, but the strategy I used here was a lot different, but I feel like this area is actually really easy to get through really quickly, as long as you keep the shotgun. We're going to put the shotgun in storage soon, but for now we want to keep it, so make sure you smash that box that I did, because it's always got a flashbang in it. Sweep into the left will usually make that enemy that throws the axe at you, he'll hit the wall, so you'll be able just to run past him and it's nice and easy. Shotgun that one enemy, this guy will throw an axe at you, avoid it. Shooting a pistol bullet at the floor there, I'm pretty sure it lures enemies or makes that dynamite guy throw his dynamite where you shot. Something along those lines. It's a good idea to do it. It seems to work out for me. It's a tip I picked up from a few speedrunners, so you might want to experiment with that. Maybe shoot in different places, see what happens. It kind of helps me out. And yeah, so when you come to heal, we want to shoot this lantern down. There might be enemies here, so be careful. You might have to jump down early and then shoot up to get the velvet blue that's here. I'm going to throw a flashbang here just to get these guys stunned so I can run past them nice and easy. Be ready to shoot enemies with a shotgun. The shotgun is your best friend at this point. It might also be worth not reloading the shotgun if you can help it. If you get out here and your shotgun isn't loaded, I was kind of stupid with it, but if your shotgun isn't loaded at this point, it might not be worth reloading it, because we're going to send it to storage and then very soon we're going to sell it. So yeah, I'd keep the shotgun shells that you haven't put into the shotgun in your inventory and save them for later, because we're going to get the riot gun in this run. One big change in this run from the last one is that I don't upgrade the handgun. I really make better use of the snipe. Using the rifle is a much more powerful weapon, much more effective for getting rid of enemies. And although it's nice to have the handgun as like a backup, really the handgun is just a box opener in this run. We just use it to smash open stuff. So in this area, shooting down the lantern, you can get an Alexandrite. Getting the Alexandrites that I get here is actually really important for the strategy that we're going to be following, and the splendid bangle from the Way Shrine in this area as well. We're going to put 2 Alexandrites into that shortly. and we'll sell that onto the merchant for a nice juicy amount of pesetas. So coming all the way through here, smash all these barrels, gives you a few pesetas. It's like 100 a barrel, kind of useful. So in the middle of the lake here, we can get a red 9 pistol, and it's a nice pistol, but we don't want it. We're just going to sell it. So just go in here, open up this box. I think there's another Alexandrite in this box. Grab that, smash this barrel, get whatever's in there, and open this up. So yeah, one thing you might notice in your runs, if you do strategies like this, if you're just running past stuff, is that you'll end up with a ton of handgun ammo, just because the case essentially turns the loot you find into handgun ammo, and you end up with an absolute abundance of it. Now, if your pistol's weak, that's kind of useless. And one thing that there is a lot of in this run is flashbang strategies. So we're going to get the black attache case. Was it attachment? Attach case? I don't know. But that basically turns the handgun bullets you would find from the normal case into large resources. So we can make a lot more flashbangs. And also just ammo and just useful stuff. It's really helpful to have those rather than relying on finding them or getting them off the merchant. That's why you'll see me doing a few merchant requests to get spinels. Spinels? Mate, whatever, you know what I'm on about. Those pink things that you very rarely find. Right, the solution for these are always the same. Also, I went to the Chicken Island. Make sure you get the gold egg. We're going to use that later with a boss fight, so make sure you get it, but don't sell it. It's a merchant request. There's only 2 of them in the game, and you want to make sure that you're not selling those. Just really be careful not to sell it or use it by accident. If you get desperate, if you get desperate and you need to heal yourself, just don't use the egg. Just don't do it. You need to keep that to make a boss fight later a hell of a lot easier. You'll be kicking yourself if you use it, I promise. Alright, so let's go ahead, smash this up. And we're heading over here to get the Lunker Bass now. This is another merchant request we can get done. This is why we stashed up the shotgun in storage. I think I sent the red 9 to storage as well. You really don't need any guns here, and by the time we get into another fight, we're going to save it and we can go to storage and just get them back out. So if you're really stuck for storage here, you can put stuff away. There's something that somebody mentioned on my previous run that I wasn't really aware. Well, no, I was aware of. I just didn't think of it at the time. It was kind of stupid of me not to think about it. But yeah, if you're in a situation like this where you don't really need to use guns and you're just looting and stuff, you can put your weapons away. So I left that yellow herb in that hut for us to grab right now. And yeah, we're going to head along this way, back into the fishing village. It's definitely more convenient to loot the first time you come here, but it's way more risky. Like, it's really not worth putting yourself at that much risk just for the loot that's here. And just coming back here, it doesn't take that much time. There's a hand grenade always in this hut on those sandbags. Grab those, get the medallion, smash the barrels. Look out for snakes while you're in this area. You'll want to grab a couple of those to sell to the merchant. There are 2 that we can grab out of set locations, but if you see them, just grab them. They're worth an extra 1,000 if you sell them to the merchant, or they're a health item for you if that's something you need. But you need to sell 3 to the merchant in order to complete the request. So I'm just working around here, smashing these barrels, disarming traps, grabbing whatever treasure I can, looking for snakes, getting them dealt with, medallions along the way as well. There's an antique pipe right here we can get. Nice and easy treasure, let's go. So I will say this a final time, because this area is kind of relaxed and there's not a lot going on. Well, no, I'll probably say it many times throughout the run. If you're really struggling to follow this run, because I know I'm moving faster, and this does use more advanced strategies. A lot of this stuff I've learned from speedruns. Like, wouldn't say I'm particularly involved with the speedrun community, but I do know a few speedrunners, and I watch speedrunners myself. So you pick up these strategies, especially when you're building runs like this yourself. You can sort of see what other people are doing, and you can adapt them to make them safer or just work out, you know, more often than not. Kind of useful. to check out speedruns. I noticed that on my previous run, a lot of people were complaining about glitches, and the reason I'm not using glitches isn't because I don't like them. It's more because I know that people like my Resident Evil videos as guides. They like to follow along and learn how to do things from my videos. So it's kind of pointless to make a guide with glitches, especially now that the glitches have been patched. But, you know, speedrunners can just downpatch the game. Speedrunners can just go back to a previous version of the game and do the glitches anyway. And one thing to bear in mind, I guess, I don't mean to make anyone feel bad or stupid or anything like that. One thing to bear in mind is, you know, glitches are just part of speedruns. There are speedruns where people don't do glitches, and some people may think to themselves, well, that's a real speedrun. It doesn't make any... Glitches don't make any speedrun more or less valid. It's all... You know, each speedrun has rules. The rules are set by the community, and generally, like, speedrunners really respect each other no matter what type of speedrun they do. It's just one of those things. You may not like glitches, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just kind of part and parcel of speedruns, you know? The glitches people are doing, you've probably seen on a professional run. It's the run that's become really popular with this game is New Game Professional Any Percent. And Any Percent is a category of speedrun. And that basically means that you can do whatever you want to beat the game. Now, usually, Any Percent runs are really short. Like, for instance, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Any Percent run was like 20 minutes. But for this game, the Any Percent run is still like 2 hours. It's still a really long run. Even though you can skip sections of the game, there's still a really big chunk of content there. You know what I mean? So, I think speedrunners try to find an area that the run sits in that's kind of like not too draining to run, because if your speedrun is like 4 hours, it puts a lot of people off speedrunning the game, right? So usually what happens is there's a category that gets popular that sits in that middle ground. Sometimes it will have glitches, sometimes it won't. But it's not really about making a guide. When people are speedrunning a game, they're not really trying to show anybody how to do anything. They're just trying to beat the game as fast as they can. So it's kind of like a different ballpark to what I'm doing here. And if they wanted to, you know, make a guide and show people how to beat the game, they could do that too. Like, it wouldn't be difficult for them to do that. And the odds are they've beaten the game, you know, legitimately without using glitches before they've started speedrunning and using glitches. I just see a lot of people really dislike the glitches, but it's kind of just... It comes down to what you're looking for. Like, if you're looking for a speedrun, the odds are you're going to see glitches. If you're looking for a guide, you probably shouldn't be seeing glitches, but the odds are you're in the wrong place. You know what I mean? You're looking at the wrong video. Alright, so we're saving it here. The looting is done. I'll come back to the speedrun conversation at some point throughout this video. Again, don't feel bad. Don't feel like I'm trying to have a dig at you, because I'm not. It's just something I see a lot of, and I think it's just kind of like, you know, a bit of a misunderstanding. So we're mixing up the herbs here, inlaying these 3 rubies into the mask that we just traded with the merchant. We need to get that from the merchant before we put the gemstones in it. We're putting in the sapphires into the flagon, and we're putting the alexandrites into the splendid bangle, and then selling them all. Alright, set all of those up. We're also getting the scope and the rifle, and we're going to upgrade the power up to level 4, and the ammo capacity up to 9, and the reload speed up to 2. And now we're going to go into storage, and we can quickly rearrange our inventory so we don't lose any time doing this. This might take you a moment. I'm just putting the rifle onto a slot for me to select quickly and putting the scope on it and stuff, reloading it along the way. So this fight with Gigante is pretty straightforward, but it takes a little bit of practice. That's why we saved it beforehand, just so you can, you know, have a few goes at this if you want to. I know it can be frustrating if you're struggling. So stick to the left when you come through here, and that'll allow you to go into the cabin and grab up all of the stuff that's in here without activating the cutscene for Gigante. When you gain control, be ready to shoot Gigante a few times. I think 3 or 4 times we'll get the worm to come out of his back. and then you want to shoot the worm, and after you shoot it for the first time, try to hit him as he's on his way down, and then twice when he's on the floor. As soon as you're done with that fourth shot you've hit it with, reload, throw a grenade, shoot him again with the rifle a few times, and that'll bring the worm out again. And again, you should need to hit the worm 4 times. One trick you can do here, I'm not going to use it because I feel like it's kind of cheap. One trick you can do here if you're struggling to hit the worm is sort of pause the game, aim in the area of the worm, and then continuously pause the game, and you can kind of see the game screen while it's paused, and you can kind of figure out when your shot is lined up, and then you just unpause it and shoot really quickly. It's what's known as pause buffering. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of cheap. I don't want to use that in my run. I'd rather just do the fight legitimately. Again, it's a speedrun trick, and the reason they do that is because when they pause the game, the in-game timer stops. And that's what's, you know, that is the final time of their run, what the in-game timer says. It's kind of how stuff like that is worked out. That's why they'll use that sometimes as a cheeky little trick to save them some time. I don't really like doing it though. I mean, if I was speedrunning the game, I'd probably use it because obviously you're trying to save every single second that you can. So right here is another one of those tricks where you aim during the cutscene and you can just run past the enemy. If you want to shoot the dog, just use a rifle bullet, it'll kill it. It can be a little bit risky just running past it. Sometimes it'll catch up to you and attack you, and it is one of those Plagas dogs, so you need to be careful. But you should be fine. Run past him, get an EO. And once you get inside, we're going to go ahead and open up this cupboard, grab the submachine gun ammo. Don't sell the submachine gun ammo, we're going to need that later. Make sure you hold on to it. Open up these, open up the cupboard, get the blue dial. There is, I think, some bolts on the bench here. Grab that. There's a small key over here. Positioning the camera to move myself around a little bit quickly. When you pull that switch, you can aim quickly to break yourself out of it just after it gets pulled, and that saves you waiting for the animation to finish. I think my green dial was a little bit wonky. I had to go back and reposition it, but yeah, there we go. So that's chapter 4 done with, man. You can see how useful that rifle is for taking out Gigante. If you save the dog there, like I said, he'll show up halfway through the fight, but it kind of slows down the fight a lot and makes things more difficult to hit, which is why I didn't opt for pulling the dog out of the trap. But I wanted to save him. I can't leave that dog, man. I can't do that to an animal. Can't do that to the floof, right? So I'm not saving it here. It's up to you if you want to save at the beginning of chapter 5. I like to save after the first area in the graveyard, and that way we've got like one sort of tricky area before the cabin. If you save at the beginning of chapter 5, you're gonna have to run through the graveyard, run through the village, and then get to the cabin, whereas I only have to run through the village before I get to the cabin, which makes my life a little bit easier. Going back into the room in this area to get the yellow diamond that's hanging from the ceiling. Very valuable stone, you want to make sure you get that. Okay, let's drop this down. There we go. Yeah, if you got, I know you guys like to put tips in the comment section as well. I do read them and try to reply to people. So if you see anything I'm missing or you've got any advice for anybody else, feel free to slap it in. Before you jump down this ladder, make sure you grab the flash grenade that's up here as you jump out the window. There is also another barrel up in that room if you want to grab it. But I just decided to leave it to save myself a few seconds. We're gonna open up this area here. When you run through here, don't run straight around the corner as fast as you can, because there's a dude standing here looking at you. If you wait for him to walk away, you can easily sneak up on this granny and stab her for a pocket change. There we go, yep, 400 pesetas, cheers granny. And I haven't got the shotgun, so I'm trying to be careful of this guy. If you run straight up on him and then stab, you can stab him a lot of the time. If Leon does the slash and you end up slashing him, just run out of there and get out. If Ashley gets grabbed, you're going to have to snipe the enemy that grabs her. Shooting the floor there makes this guy throw his Molotov early, allowing you to run straight past him. You may have noticed that when you try and run past that guy, sometimes he throws a Molotov at your feet, which is really annoying because it slows Leon down, and that's just not something we want. But shooting the ground there keeps Leon moving, because he just throws a Molotov where you've shot, basically. Right, so here's we're going to make our next save. We're on save number 3. on chapter 5. We're making good progress, man. We're about to do the cabin. A lot of people don't like this section, but it's not so bad once you learn the strategy to do it quickly. There's a couple of different strategies you can use here. Like I mentioned before, you open these cupboards here, and a lot of the time you'll get rifle ammo. Because we've just saved it, we can manipulate the RNG in the game if we want to. So if we come in here and open up the cupboards, it doesn't have the ammo we want, we can quit the game, load it back up, open them, and get the ammo we want. That's kind of how the pickups work in this game. I tried to run up and stab that guy like I did in the graveyard with that dude, but he attacked me, so I had to parry and kick him back. This is kind of why I saved it just before this area. Right, so coming up here then, Ashley will follow us up the ladder, which is nice. When she gets up, kick the ladder down. Beautiful. Sorted. Alright, so when you get to about here, crouch down, you can sneak up on this guy and stab him then. Oh yeah, that worked out well for me, didn't it? Worked out real well. These guys will usually attract to Ashley, so just be ready to shoot them. I think I shot this guy in the chest and the other guy in the ass cheek as well, which is definitely what he deserved. Basically what I'm saying is that one guy's heart went into the other guy's arse, so... fantastic. Let's go and open this barrel. Whatever's in it. Ashley will teleport here to you, or she'll just be safe when you go through the gate, so don't worry about going back for her. As soon as you get through the gate, the enemies will leave her alone. So if you snipe the guy to drop her like I just did, just run through the gate and she'll be fine. Throwing a flashbang over this guy's head to stun up the brute and the other enemies in this area, and then you can just run straight to the cabin. So I will show you the strategy I use to get through the cabin quickly. However, if you want to do this a lot safer, you can just stand at the top of the stairs and shoot enemies. That's pretty much the really safe way to do it. So for your first bullet, you want to shoot those two guys in the head with one bullet from the snipe, but you also want to shoot out the door frame, the window frame, sorry, to open it up. Come through here, grab the planks, smash the boxes. You also want to make sure you've shot that granny that you saw me shoot through the window, and then you can run over to the opposite side of the room and shoot through the window, the bottom right corner, and hit a barrel. Come over here and look through the window. You want to throw 2 grenades through the window, and then be ready to put the boards over the window once you've done that. So when you put in the grenades through the window, that dude that I shot that was running at me will usually be just jumping through the window at that point. It was really early for me. But yeah, if you do everything the same way I did just there, these enemies will start dropping the boards really quick. I think it's something like 12 kills you need to get before they start dropping boards. Basically doing what we did there makes the 12 kills come in really quickly, so you get the boards and you can just board up the windows. When you get all 3 windows boarded up, the timer for the next phase starts. So you want to run upstairs, smash the boxes, get all the resources, and when you're going to come back down, throw a flashbang down, because this guy will usually lunge at you when you come back down. And then get yourself in this position. You can snipe the guy that got stunned by the flashbang. There's a dude that rolls through the chimney, and you can stab him while he's on his knees. And then you've got a few enemies dropping in. I think we need to kill 5 enemies before the brute spawns, and then the brute is the last enemy we need to worry about. He's kind of the one that will end the cabin section. That guy just tried to throw an axe at me and hit his mate in the shoulder. I'm sure he's happy about that. We're gonna have to have a team Gyarados meeting about that one, mate. Right, so when the brute comes in, face the window, we need to snipe him 4 times in the head in order for him to die. But that's easier said than done, so I like to hit him twice, throw a flashbang. Gotta reload here. Pretty sure I whiffed a couple of shots at this point, yeah. That one was in the shoulder, but one more should do him in. There we go. Beautiful. You want to make sure you grab the emerald from the brute's corpse. The best piece of loot pretty much in the cabin. And that's it. Very straightforward. Easy. Seems really complicated when you watch someone do it, but I promise you if you practice it a little bit, it's not that hard. It's just a few sniper bullets. The sniper is extremely overpowered at this point in the game. It becomes a little bit weaker later when the enemies become stronger. Also, I'm not going to save it right now. I'm going to save it when we get to the merchant down here. Okay. Sorry if you can hear loads of noise in the background. I have pet rats, and the cage is right next to my desk, and they are being nuts right now. So if you hear lots of noise going on, that's why. It's not me fidgeting all over the place. They're quiet all day, and then I start recording, and they start going crazy. Alright, so coming to the merchant then, we're gonna go to the treasures and put the yellow diamonds into the butterfly lamp. And then we're going to save the game, because we've got other things to sell. You might need to trade with the merchant to get that one of the yellow diamonds. Check if you've got free. If you haven't, you might want to check it out. Right, so we're selling the Vipers, detachable mines, other little bits and pieces. We're going to get the riot gun, and I think I want to get the attache case black here, the black attachment case. Go into your storage, craft up these herbs, making it all happen, making some space, crafting a flashbang. I think I need one here at least, but I'm going to know we need two. Make sure you get two at this point. Yeah, change your case to the black one, and now we should start finding large resources. So because we saved it there, you want to make sure that you quit the game and load it up, and that'll make this section a little bit faster. If you've just saved it and come in, these two enemies will be in different positions. This woman on the left will always be there, but this dude kind of has pathing where he goes backwards and forwards. Somehow I got away with stabbing him there, but if you don't save it, he'll probably be in a different place, and you'll have to wait for him to have his back to you, basically. You want to make sure that you crouch behind him. If you try and run straight up on him, he'll usually spot you, so you want to stop and crouch for a second. Grab the large resources, run past the lady with the crossbow, and throw a flashbang. Make sure you throw the flashbang far into the area. If you don't, and you throw it too close to you and Ashley, Ashley will get stunned, and she'll stay back, and then she'll end up getting grabbed by the enemies. So you need to make sure you throw it quite far into the area, but you need to be quick so that the enemies don't get too close to you, because then they might not get stunned. Kind of frustrating. Coming in here, using the riot gun to shotgun that guy down. Make sure you shoot him in the legs. If you shoot him in the head, he might mutate into a Los Plagas. And then we want to open the chest, grab the chalice of atonement that's inside, come out, and smash the barrels. You may think I'm out of sync. I'm just trying to explain things, and I move so fast that, you know, I can't talk like an auctioneer, so I'm not in sync. We're going to stab this guy in the back right now. That'll prove that I'm not... We are still in sync. But yeah. I try to... One thing that I suppose doesn't get translated in video is all the nuance that goes into a lot of these tricks. I try to remember it all and explain it. Because there's a ton of things like positioning that you may not notice. You might think, oh, he just snuck up on that guy and stabbed him in the back. But you want to stay as far right when you're going up the stairs as you can to stab him. If you are in the middle of the stairs as you run up, or to the left, a lot of the time he'll spot you or hear you and turn around. Whereas if you're really tucked in on the right, you'll most of the time get the stab off on him, which is really nice. So we're looting up a little bit here. There is some handgun ammo and a couple of barrels in the back right of this area. I'm going to leave them. If you want to go and get them, feel free. Make sure you grab the rifle ammo that's on that windowsill and smash up all these crates and get the way shrine stuff that I did. A little bit of extra loot. Telling Ashley to hide, there's a first aid spray on the table there. So when we grab the handle, we're going to need to snipe this Bella sister 3 times in the head and once in the body. And that'll kill her. Once she's down, turn around, or once you're in danger from the other Bella sister attacking you, you either want to back up towards the door and shotgun this guy, or run up and get the crank. Be ready to clear your path with the riot gun on the way out of this area. And then once you've done that, turn around here, chuck a flashbang back, and then you can run to the door, slap the crank in and open it. You've got 2 choices with Ashley in this area. As you leave the area with the Bella sisters, you can call her out of the locker and she'll jump out and follow you, and a lot of the time she'll get grabbed. And what you will do is you'll throw your flashbang and then she'll get dropped by the enemy that's grabbed her. If you leave her in the locker and then you just make a beeline for the door like I did, it's pretty much the same sort of thing. Like, she'll get grabbed sometimes she won't. It's kind of frustrating. It's Ashley mechanics. Ashley doesn't make any sense and she's really annoying, and she just does nothing but frustrate a lot of players, I'm guessing. So when you come through here, grab up all the items. There's a flashbang and stuff. shotgun ammo, handgun ammo. When you're coming through this area, these enemies are all really weak. So you can use the handgun to take them out. 1 or 2 shots will take them down. So get rid of those enemies with a handgun. When these guys run up on you, hit the barrel. I messed up here and ended up hitting that guy in the arm, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I hit him in the arm. And that kind of screwed me up there, but it's alright. I still managed to get through just by using the riot gun. I've got a little extra shotgun ammo, but yeah, if you shoot the barrel just as they're sort of in line with it, you can save yourself a couple of shotgun shots there. When you get control of Leon again here, telling Ashley to back off will allow you to jump up that ledge without having to pull her up, which will save you a few seconds. Not really important, but little time saves are nice. Okay, so the next section that we're going to do is Mendes, and also a little bit of Chapter 7 we're not going to save for a while. Mendes isn't too difficult. I'm crafting up a few items here, making some rifle ammo. I put all of my weapons away here, and I'm selling up the butterfly lamp and a few other trinkets, and then the mixed herbs. Handgun ammo, I'm selling 50 of those. If you need to slow down what I'm doing here, feel free to rewind and slow down the video a little bit, but essentially I'm just getting rid of that crap. And then I buy the TMP and tune it up all the way up. Once I've done that, I'm going to go back and open up these barrels. This is why I didn't smash these barrels when I came through here. It's because if the only weapon you have is the TMP, or any weapon, if the only weapon you have is a rifle, the chances of you finding rifle ammo are greatly increased because you won't find ammo for a weapon you don't have. So if you only have the TMP on you, unless it's a set ammo location, like there's always handgun ammo just like there was there on the left, then you'll only find the ammo for the weapons that you have in your inventory. When you get into the Mendes fight, make sure you've got a nade equipped before you get into the fight. Chuck the nade to the right of him, turn around and smash the barrels that are in the boxes, and then quickly make a beeline for the ladder. He shouldn't be, if you do that quickly, he shouldn't be able to hit you with his first attack, allowing you to open up these boxes and get the knife, the flashbang, and all the little items that are around. And then you can just use the TMP to take him down, and use the rifle like this to get him through his first phase. Really, really easy fight for the first phase. And then we're just going to use the rifle to take him out. Take some time. Headshots do a lot more damage to him here. I like to get everything reloaded before I start shooting at him. I try to hit him in the head as much as possible. It's not easy though. It's kind of a difficult shot with the rifle. So one thing to take note of here, you really want to make sure that when he is throwing the 2 singular projectiles at you, when he's doing this one, you don't want to shoot with the rifle too late, because it'll mean Leon is stuck in an animation. Like right now I chose not to shoot because I knew I'd be stuck in the animation and Leon would get screwed. So you want to be ready for him to do this animation where he jumps forward, duck under him, make sure you don't step in the flames, and then use the TMP to start spraying at him. And staying in this area can make things look a little bit weird, but it makes the fight really, really easy just to spray him with the TMP and get him killed. And then you can grab the false eye. Get out of there, mate. Much easier than using the shotgun and the pistol like I did in the previous run. One thing that I feel like is missing from a lot of runs that you see in on YouTube, the fast runs, are the Mendes fights, because obviously for the speed run they skip it completely. They use the out of bounds skip to completely skip that fight. So I guess it would be kind of infuriating if you're looking for a guide to help you get through it, especially now that they've all been patched, man. See, this is where experience with Resident Evil pays off, because they did exactly the same thing with other Resident Evil games, and that's why I don't like including glitches in my guides. Although I like glitches, man. I don't know, I think glitches are cool. I think speedrunning is really, really cool. And I've had it myself where, you know, I've speedrun something what's really hard to get a world record, but because it has glitches in it, people will say stuff to me like, this isn't a real speedrun, and it's just... Hang on a second, let me show you what we're selling here. TMP, Mendes Eye, Vintage Compass, we're selling all that stuff. That'll give us all our money back pretty much, a little bit less. I think we lose like 5-10k from the TMP there. Let's make some rifle ammo. Arrange the inventory. I'm going to make a flashbang as well. mixing up these herbs. Okay. But yeah,
Welcome.
what else am I buying? Oh, the broken butterfly. Yeah, and the magnum ammo. You get the broken butterfly cheap here. You also get the magnum ammo for free. Make sure you've got Ashley in the stay far away command phase thing when you run past this first maggot plaga thing. But yeah, to be honest, if you try to tell somebody that because they've glitched it's not a real speedrun, all you're really doing is making it look like you have no idea what you're talking about, because, you know, there are rules and regulations to speedruns. Like, the community comes up with the rules. Speedruns are broken down into categories, so glitches can't be used in all speedruns of that game. There are runs that don't allow for glitches. It's like kind of part of the rules. And if you say to someone something like, this isn't a real speedrun, you glitched, you just make it painfully obvious to everyone who knows about speedrunning that you don't know about speedrunning. And I just don't want people to look stupid, I guess. So when we come here, we can skip that cutscene. We can shoot the barrel up there with the pistol, blow up the first trebuchet, and then we can use the sniper to take out those two enemies. Coming along here, we're going to use the riot gun to shoot this guy in the face and get rid of him. Come back here, use the snipe, take out this guy. Switch back to the pistol then. Come up here now. When you get onto the bridge, turn around, shoot this barrel, back to the shotgun. This guy will be running up on you. Shoot him in the face. If he doesn't die, shoot him in the face again. Teach him some manners, mate. Shoot this guy in the face again. If he doesn't die, shoot him in the face again. And we're going to jump on the cannon, blow open the door. As soon as you gain control of Leon, you want to switch Ashley into the faraway command thing and then grab those large resources. Shoot this guy in the legs. If you follow my path in here, neither of you will go down or get stunned. Make sure you tuck into the wall there as you go around. And at this point, you can tell Ashley to get back to you, although she won't. She's useless. She'll be stuck over there for a while, so don't worry. I like to shoot down this enemy sometimes. We're going to wait for Ashley to get grabbed here, and then we can chuck a flash grenade to save her. And then, if you can make it into this area without Ashley getting grabbed again, she's safe. Unfortunately for me, she got grabbed again. So I'm going to come back here. A lot of the time, the enemies at this point, as you've entered that area that I was just in, will just bring her to you. It's really dumb. Don't ask me why they do it, but they do. Yeah, stupid. The enemies can also do weird stuff with Ashley. Like, they can literally walk into a corner with her where there are no doors 10 feet away from you. This happens a lot in chapter 14. And the game thinks that they've gotten away with her, and it shows you that cutscene where she's getting dragged through a door. It's really stupid. But yeah, it can happen. I really don't like Ashley's AI in this game, but oh well, shit happens. So, Ashley's getting grabbed here, but that's fine. Again, they're just going to bring her to us anyway. So I'm going to use the rifle here to take out a couple of these enemies. Don't use too much rifle ammo. You will need it in Waterhall, so make sure you're saving some. And if you come out here, you want to be careful backing up too quickly. I used a grenade because I had some extra, but you want to be careful backing up too far here, because if you do, there are still enemies in the trebuchet area and they can walk up on you sometimes, so just be careful with what you're doing. If enemies get too close, if you do pass through the door that you blew open with the cannon, the enemies will go back inside this room they've just opened the door to. I actually don't like to do it, to be honest. I don't mind backing up out here and fighting them through the door. That's fine, because they're still sort of coming at you, right? They still run at you. As soon as you pass through that door that you've blown open, they'll turn around and go back inside. So if you're happy to cheese this section, you can just go straight back through the door, and yeah, they'll leave you alone and they'll head back in this room.
Hey.
Kind of a cheeky little strategy. So we're gonna boost Ashley over here.
I need you to open it from the other side.
Open up this. Get the large gold bar that's in there. It's just a gold bar. And on the opposite side of the room, you can find a yellow herb in this cupboard. Right here.
Okay.
Sorted. So, let's go through. Yeah, what are we talking about? We got some treasures and stuff to grab here. Very straightforward stuff. You can follow my loot path if you like. Yeah, I mentioned this in a few of my runs. about speedruns. I don't mean to make anyone feel stupid, or I'm not even trying to be mean about it, you know, because I understand, man. Like, not everybody understands this stuff. Not everybody's into speedrunning, but the whole glitching thing and like speedrun, people don't, you know, make those things up on the fly. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna do this and that's a speedrun. Like, there are rules to speedrunning, and you might think, well, what gives someone the right to make up rules? And it's pretty much to make it a level playing field. That's kind of why it's done. Like, let's say if a game has an advantage for playing on a higher frame rate, what the community will say is, okay, so you've got to cap your frame rate at 120, and then you can't go higher than that. Because sometimes there's strategies where the higher frame rate you have, the quicker that you can do something. So the community will say, well, okay, to make it fair, we'll cap the frame rate at 120 throughout the whole run, and everybody has to do that. If you go above 120 frames, then your run is invalid, you know. And you might think, well, invalid where? How can you invalidate a run or validate a run? There are leaderboards for speedruns, and that's why when people post like world record, it's there's at the top of the leaderboard. It's a website called speedrun.com, funnily enough. Pretty straightforward, I know, state the obvious. But it's all judged over there, all the rules are up there, and if you're interested in learning more, go check it out, man. Go check out speedrun.com. You can look up the rules for your favorite game, figure out how things work. You know, doesn't hurt to learn, doesn't hurt to learn something. But yeah, you do see a lot of it, and it can be really, obviously it doesn't really apply to me in this situation, although it has in the past. When you put a lot of time into speedrunning a game, because believe me, speedrunning takes a lot of time. When you see a video on YouTube that's like world record or world's first this or a really fast time, you know, that's the one run where they've done really well, but the odds are they've had to do hundreds of attempts to get that one run, and you're just seeing that one run that went well for them, you know. And it's really frustrating when you put that one run on YouTube and then someone comes along who obviously doesn't know about speedrunning and just shits on it. And it's like, oh, well, thanks, you know, that's great, thanks, yeah, appreciate that. Really frustrating. So just, I guess, don't be too hard on the glitches, man. Don't be too hard on them. It's a completely different league of stuff. Like, it's not the same as making like a guide. They don't need to break the game to beat it, like glitches and stuff. They just do it because it's something they enjoy doing. They're trying to see how fast they can beat the game. That's just part and parcel of speedruns, you know? That's how it goes. Again, I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm trying to be nice about this, I guess. I rang that gong for no reason. Also. But yeah, it's not... I don't expect people to know about it. I know it's one of those things that the only way you're really going to know about it is if you speedrun a game. That's literally the only way you're going to know. And most people don't do that. But I think it's kind of a divide between YouTube and Twitch, because YouTube is where people upload their runs, and none of the community is there to sort of help. Because a lot of the time you'll see in Twitch chat, somebody will ask questions or say something, and then it'll be explained to them why it's done that way. Where obviously on YouTube that doesn't happen. You know, you just get that one run stuck in your face, and then people are like, this is shit, this isn't a real speedrun, you're just cheating. And it's like, for instance, I had a, this is all very straightforward stuff, by the way, follow along. I know you're not stupid, I know you can copy me here. I had a world record on Alien Isolation.
What are you doing?
And although I had many positive comments and nice people saying stuff, it was the any percent run, and that run is like 20-something minutes, right? The problem is when a run is so short, getting the world record, everything has to be perfect. Like, even when you're doing a glitch, the speed in which you do the glitch has to be absolutely perfect. And doing that may seem easy when you're watching that one good run that went right, but there's so much that can go wrong. There's so, like, it took me hundreds of attempts to get that run, and then I put it up on YouTube and people are just like, you're shit, I don't think you're cool for cheating, you had to do this to beat the game. And it's like, wait a minute, you think that this is the first time I beat the game? Like, you know, like, do you not think I beat the game normally before I started speedrunning? I just literally got the game and cheated to beat it. Like, or, you know, Like, I did everything on the game that you could do legitimately, and then I was like, I really love this game, I want to speedrun it. Because that's usually the case with speedrunners. That's usually, like, the way it goes down. So, try not to be too judgmental about people using glitches. And a little bit of knowledge helps a lot in these situations. So I tried to talk about it. I don't want to see it sound pretentious or like I'm being a dick, like for you not knowing about it. But I kind of just like to, I guess, educate people a little bit so they understand why it's done that way and, you know, why you see glitches. But just it all comes down to with YouTube what you search for and what's stuck in your face as well, what YouTube recommends to you. So if you want, you know, a glitchless run, you can search for no glitches or glitchless or no major glitches. That's usually what you want to look for. If you see a run that has any % on it, the odds are it's got glitches. That's just kind of how it works.
Leon, they're here.
Alright, so sniping that 2 enemies. I'll get back to commentating. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting sidetracked. Sniping those 2 enemies and coming down here. Keeping Ashley far away from us until we get down here. You want to tell her to regroup with you. I don't think I did here, but yeah. Looking at the floor stops the enemies from attacking you in that area, and it's kind of useful in a couple of areas in the game. So we're coming down here, shotgunning that one guy away from us if he's too close. Getting the halo wheel, shotgunning these guys back. Trying to get what's in this vase, but I got people getting him away. So I want to shotgun all of these guys down, slap the wheel in, and then turn around and throw a flashbang.
Here you go.
And then use the wheel. You use a little more shotgun ammo here, but I feel like the strategy is a little bit easier than the one I've seen other speedrunners use. Way more risky to do the other strat. Using the shotgun to push enemies back here. We are hoping and praying that Ashley just sticks with us at this point. Sometimes she'll just get sidetracked and I don't know, see something shiny and go for it, I guess. Throwing a flashbang, make sure you're in that archway when you throw the flashbang, otherwise you'll probably get shot by archers here. You will see arrows flying past my head trying to make me look like a gamer plunk. In this area, doing this section no damage. It's not a lot of fun. Once you get up here, the archers should leave you alone. And you can wait for Ashley to catch up to you. After you've turned the wheel, you want to throw another flash to release her and just stun any enemies that are around you. Make sure as well when you throw a flashbang, you don't interact and put the wheel in place because it'll cancel out the flashbang and it just won't work. Alright, so as soon as Ashley goes up, come over here, turn the wheel, get it all the way turned. Make sure you've got your pistol fully reloaded at this point, and then start taking out these enemies. There are 4 of them. They should take 4 bullets with an unupgraded pistol to take down. 3 if you're lucky, 2 if you're really lucky, 1 if you're God. Alright, so that's 3. Or no, this is number 3, right? Yeah, there we go. And that's 3. This is number 4. Missing a couple of shots. Let's go ahead, take him out. Right, so when you've taken out those 4, get the sniper out. Take out that enemy and these 2 enemies. You need to be quick about this, or these enemies that are down low are going to start pushing up on you. Take out the 1 enemy that's got the flail or the mace in his hand. The flail mace, I guess that's what it's called. But you want to leave the rest of these enemies alive. There'll be 2 more enemies that come after Ashley that will catch up to her. One there that you saw running across, and then this guy. So you want to do your best to get rid of them. And then you just want to avoid these guys. The objective here is to stop Ashley from getting grabbed. If Ashley gets grabbed, then she drops the platform that she's raising, and that means she has to start again, and that takes a whole bunch of extra time. So if you've ever wondered why you're stuck in this position for so long, it's probably because Ashley keeps getting interrupted on the wheel, and you're doing it again and again and again as she keeps bringing it up. But if you don't kill the enemies that are down low with Leon, then more enemies won't spawn up top near Ashley. I think because we killed the one with the flail mace, 1 more will spawn. But yeah, not doing that will keep less enemies around her, and you should be able to follow that strategy in order to get out quickly. Opening up that door, if you wait by the door, Ashley won't have to open it when she runs up to it, so it'll save a few seconds because she takes time to open the door. So push her over the hole in the wall and then open up these boxes. And yeah, away we go. That's this chapter done, man. That's a very tricky part, and that's why I know my save was very spaced out there between Mendez and Waterhall. But to be honest, the bit with the trebuchets isn't that hard. And the... what's the blind guy's name? I know it begins with a G. It's not Gas. No. No, Gyarados is just the normal guy. I don't know. Yeah, the blind BDSM looking dude. He's probably the hardest part of that area. So getting past him can be a little bit tricky, especially doing it no damage. It wasn't a lot of fun. But you definitely want to save before Waterhall. And I'm trying to space out the saves before each really hard part, so that you can practice the difficult sections as they come. Make sure you grab this rhinoceros beetle and shoot down the nest that's got the scratched emerald in it. It's just above where I am right now. And you can sell that to merchant for spinels. So this is where we're going to drop our next save. Sorted, and we are on to chapter 8. Beautiful. Okay, so on to chapter 8 and also 9. Both of these chapters worked into one. These chapters aren't too tough. There's only really one tough section in these chapters. Selling up the scratched emerald, a few bits and bobs. The Viper goes as well. Crafted a couple of flashbangs there. Opening up this barrel, or this box, to get whatever's inside. Sometimes you can get ammo out of it, which is nice. Readying up with a flashbang as we come through here. You don't have to throw this flash, but it sort of stuns the enemy that's in this room, who is really annoying. That's to your right. When you throw the flashbang, run straight in. Snipe the red dude in the face, and then you want to move quickly to that barrel that I shot. Come through here, shotgun the guy that's on the right, and then you can look up and shoot the barrel that the red guy runs over to. If he manages to stun you as you run towards that second barrel, you can run up to the stairs and shoot it there. And if you do everything in the same order as me there, he should be dead by the time you get up here. And just be careful of enemies when you come up here. You want to use your shotgun to push them back if they are. There's also enemies down below, that's why I shoot that barrel. And then we're making a swift exit out of this room. Let's just get the hell out of here. Right. I really don't like that room. That room is not a lot of fun. That's a really quick way to get through it. You really have to make sure that you hit that sniper shot quickly and then run into the room. It's really important that you throw the flashbang and then run in just before it explodes to shoot him in the face, like momentarily afterwards. Alright, so turning around after that cutscene, grabbing up the lithograph, smashing open his case to get the velvet blue. We should have all 3 stones to put in here. I might solve this puzzle pretty quickly, but the solution is always the same, so you can sort of look at my solution and just copy it.
That should do it.
That should do it, mate.
Alright.
I think the left stone goes to the right, and the right stone gets flipped to the bottom stone gets flipped to the left, and then the top stone just gets turned around.
Oh, great.
Something like that. Okay. So, grabbing that small key, when we come through here, we have our first encounter with one of the parasite plagas, and you want to make sure that you shoot him in the face with a shotgun, get rid of him, just keep running, don't worry about fighting him, just come down here and use the pistol to knock down the barrel. The rock ball bag, the metal ball bag, that thing. Get the barrel, and then you can shoot down the other one that's holding the bridge. When you get to the bridge, if you time that well, you can get here just as it pops down. When you step onto the bridge, this guy with a scythe will run at you, chuck the flash over his head, and you should stun everyone up, and also kill the parasite if you throw it into the doorway that will usually jump onto this flail mace guy. Coming up here, if you can't quite do this shot that I'm about to do here, you can use a grenade to throw through this gate to knock down the ball bag and get in here. And you can just shoot this one down. We're going to throw a flashbang into this room. You need to make sure that you're saving at least 1 grenade or 2 grenades for the next section. We'll cover that when we come to it, but be mindful of how many grenades you have. You don't want to be entering the next chapter with no grenades, which is why we've been picking up set grenades as we've been moving through. So you really need to be on point with your line to make it through here in one cycle. If you are worried about making that jump, you can just turn around and jump into the area behind you, wait for the Gigante to throw, and then run across. Other than that, that should play out the same. Sometimes it will hit you if you're a little bit slow. You saw that he just missed me as I ran past that enemy a second ago. So coming up here then, We've taken down one of the things for the ladder. We need to be really quick up here. Again, if you want to be brave, you can run straight for the cannon and just turn it and hit him. But he'll be mid-throw. The boulders won't hit you if you kill him before they hit you. But if you want to be safe, you can wait behind that wooden barrier and wait for him to throw and then use the cannon. It's up to you if you want to play it safe or not. I like to try and live life on the edge, I guess. But yeah, it's up to you how you play that out. Play it a little bit safer if you want. Now this chapter, if you do everything I just did, it's literally a 5-minute chapter. It's really short. Whereas if you take your time getting through that area, you extend it by a good 3 or 4 minutes. So really, really useful to do those tricks. There's 2 difficult parts in that section. Hitting that shot through the gate to knock down the rock bag can be really difficult. And running across that last stretch where the Gigante can hit you with rocks can be quite tricky as well. Like, you can play it safe if you want to. Gaining control of Leon here, we want to run forward, grab the yellow herb, smash open these vases. At this point, I'm just kind of looking for ammo rather than pesetas. If it's got pesetas, I don't really care. So this is the first chapter where heavy grenades can show up, and we need heavy grenades. I'm not saving it here, I'm just using the typewriter storage to craft stuff. So this is why you'll see me looting a lot. If I shoot open barrels and I don't go over to them, it's probably just because they had money in them, and I'm only looking for stuff that has ammo or gunpowder, really. We need heavy grenades. We need to get a good few of them, so you may need to redo this section a couple of times to get the heavy grenades you need. I'm pretty sure that we need, in total, throughout the whole run, I think it's 5 heavy grenades. Getting a couple here is really nice. We will get the recipe for heavy grenades, but they cost 12 gunpowder and large resources. Large resources are not really a problem for us at all at the moment, just because we find them everywhere. I think at this point I have upgraded the case that we have to the 8x12 one. But yeah, we won't be upgrading the next case for quite some time. Shotgun this dog, snipe this dog. I like to reload the snipe here and then whip out the pistol to smash this vase. Once you've done that, be ready to pull out the shotgun because there's going to be another dog coming for you. You can grab the elegant chessboard, be ready for this dog to run at you around this corner. And yeah, if you do that quickly, it'll always play out the same way. If you want to play it a little bit safer, you can just wait after that dog that we snipe through the fence, and the one that just ran at us is the one that jumps over the fence, so you can just wait for him to jump over the fence and kill him there. It's up to you. It's a little bit faster to do it the way I did, obviously. Shooting this box from up here so I can see what's in it. I think it's just money, so I'm not really interested in that. And if we look down to the right, we can see the dog that we sniped and see if it's got anything useful for us. It's just money, so I'm not really bothered. So there we go. We got some more stuff. We got some rifle ammo, large resources. So much better to have large resources than pistol ammo. You can see that I've still got like over 100 pistol ammo. I'm not really using it a lot. Throwing a grenade at the cage whilst having your back to the wall there will kill 2 of the dogs. One of them will jump out and you can pistol shot it once, even with the weak pistol.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll die. You want to open up that cage because there's a flash grenade in it, and we want to make sure we get that. And getting Ashley onto that switch quickly and turning around and coming back, we can catch the dog that's running at us around that corner a little bit earlier, making it an easier shot to hit than waiting for it. Sometimes it'll just jump at you if you wait for it, and it'll just get an easy grab on you, whereas if you run at it, it's kind of an easier shot. You have a little bit more time to judge your shot. Okay. So in this area, when these 3 guys run out, you want to try and shoot the bold guy. He was zooming for me here though, so I had to run after him a little bit more than I wanted to. I like, if you do this flag last in this area, the whole scenario with Ashley getting grabbed and whatnot will still play out while this little cutscene is playing, and that's why it's left till last. Because you kind of have to wait for Ashley to get grabbed, and you either want to go and get the guys that have grabbed her, or you can use this strategy, which is really handy. Another heavy grenade there, which is really nice. Grab a flashbang. She'll be getting carried towards you. Come to this window. And you want to wait for the little person symbol to line up with the flashbang near enough. And throw the flashbang. Once she's been freed, run in here. And she'll teleport to you. Which is kind of nice. Ashley can instant transmission, apparently. Fucking Dragon Ball Z Ashley for some reason. Alright, so
Ballroom must be this.
let's go ahead, break that open.
You heard?
So in this area, there's several cupboards. You've got a choice. If you want to open them like I am, then you can. One thing you can do is leave them till after this mission. We're going to make our next save after Chapter 9. If you leave all of this stuff, you can manipulate the RNG so that you get heavy grenades out of it by loading the save, seeing what's in all the cupboards and vases and whatever.
Leon, there's some
If it's not heavy grenades, quit the game,
for best.
back to the main menu, load the game, and see if you get heavy grenades. Obviously you want to break these vases because we don't want to come back here, it's really slow. You can leave them if you want to though, you can leave these vases, and again you can manipulate the RNG in the next chapter when you've taken out all of the enemies and you can run around here safely. It's up to you though. If you want to do that, it's entirely up to you. So coming down here, we're gonna... I've already smashed open all the vases. I'm getting these blue medallions as well for some extra spinels. Not completely necessarily, but it helps to have them. And when you get to this point, when you've reached basically the second vase worth of loot, turn around with a rifle, snipe this guy in the little opening in the armor, pistol him twice, and he should go down to his knees. And at that point, you want to run up and kick him. And then the way Ashley works with the lanterns here is basically when they attack you and miss, or even if they hit you, Ashley will throw a lantern. I'm pretty sure she's got 3 in total. And if you follow the same sort of path as I did with those 2 knights, the knights always spawn in the same location. They'll always come from the same place. The enemies will the next set of knights will end up behind you. Depends though, if you kill them as quick as I do. If you don't kill them so quick, you may end up facing a different direction, but try to figure out where they're coming from. A good tip with the knights is when you try to snipe them, if you're worried about hitting their plaga parts, try to aim for the eyeball that you can see with the snipe. Also, when you kick them, I was really lucky there not to get hit. I think I ducked under that as I ran. Yeah, if you kick them, you can sort of just line up your shot a little bit and aim with the snipe. And at this point I've got, I think, 1 left to get? Yeah, there we go. Oh, 1 more. Yeah, this guy with the thing in his back can be really frustrating to deal with. But keep your distance, take your time. I wanted to throw a grenade at him to do some damage. I had an extra grenade, so again, you need to be mindful of your grenades. You need at least 1 for this section. 1 normal grenade or a flashbang will do it, but saving the flashbangs is really useful, and using the grenades, because there's not a huge amount of use for the grenades other than just to kill enemies. So it's preferable to use a grenade in the next section that you'll see me do shortly. But yeah, that's why you kind of want to be mindful of your grenades. You don't want to be wasting them. Okay. Just kick this guy. Yeah, this definitely took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but never mind. Bloody hell, he just does not want to die. Let's give him a kick. There we go. That fight definitely could have been a lot quicker, but it's okay. If you're lucky, you'll catch that guy in the lantern. But I think I got unlucky with it. Alright, make sure you get the loot in this room. There's a static heavy resources and a flashbang. Obviously, you get the spinels off the knights. But yeah, there's a flashbang, I think, there. And I've already picked up the heavy resources. Not really too much of a bother for us. The merchant at this point does also have heavy resources, so if you're desperate for one, you can go and buy one from him. Yeah, kind of useful. Kind of useful to have the heavy resource case. So I'm getting rid of these rats as we go along. There's 2 that we get in this chapter and 1 in the next. Working up these spinels or spinels as we go along. Okay. Right. One thing that I think may be really difficult to follow in this run is the menuing. I do the menuing very fast. I think that's just part and parcel with a segmented run though. I'm just kind of working save to save as you probably are, and I get used to just doing the menuing so fast that I don't think about it sometimes. So when you get to about here, you want to throw this grenade over there, run forward a bit more, and yeah, you'll get the guy who's going to lower the bridge, allowing you to skip messing around with all of that look over here and shoot the medallion. Don't sprint into that banister or you might end up jumping over it. I've definitely done that before. Just be careful when aiming over that banister to get the medallion if it's something you're interested in. Chuck in the flashbang here to stun up these guys. You can use a flashbang to stun the guy who goes for the switch as well, like I mentioned before, if you haven't got a grenade. Obviously you can make flashbangs. Just make sure you're not using your heavy grenades. You need to save those for a little bit later. Alright, so there's two cupboards in the that are sort of next to the door we just came back through. I didn't open those to give an example of the RNG manipulation that you can sort of work on this chapter. Like I said before, if you don't smash any of the vases or open the cupboards, and then in chapter 10 you open them, you can manipulate the loot you're going to get, so you can basically guarantee getting heavy grenades with a bit of patience just by quitting the game and reloading your save and hoping you get what you need. I think it was okay in this run, so I wasn't too bothered about it, but it's something you can do if that's something that's worrying you. Definitely a cheeky trick that you might not think of. Also, I'm not sure if you put all your weapons away and then open the cupboards, if the chances of getting heavy grenades increases a lot, because the game won't give you ammo, seeing as the game will only give you ammo for guns that you're currently carrying, which is kind of nice. Could be a really great way to manipulate magnum ammo as well. Okay. Moving on then. What's really interesting about this run is a lot of people are trying to get the S Plus run. They're really interested in getting it. Is that a clock? No, it's a lawnmower, Ashley. God damn it. Misstate the obvious. So the time you need to put in there is 7 o'clock. It changes from assisted or standard. Alright. So this area is really straightforward. You can definitely get caught out by the last enemy. What you might see speedrunners do, and this is why you don't want to copy them, they'll lower their frame rate so that they can run past the night easier. I know that I did that with Del Lago. I don't mind making a frame rate change to 60 because I feel like that's still pretty fair. And it's also a really dumb thing that the waves are smaller on a lower frame rate. I think that's just stupid. But I know that, I'm honestly not sure, but console players more than likely can't change their frame rate to 30. And what happens when you change your frame rate to 30 FPS is the enemies are really stupid and easier to run past. They're way less likely to grab you and they're way less likely to hit you if you're playing the game on 30 FPS. But let's be honest, who wants to play the game in 30 FPS? It will just look awful and just feel awful. Also, if you're used to playing in 60 or 120, playing in 30 is not a lot of fun. I'm not even sure if did this game come out on PS4. I'm gonna look that up, seeing as we're doing the Ashley segment, which is my least favourite segment of the game, and this is really straightforward. Let's take a look. I'll take a look somewhere. I'm interested. Resident Evil 4 Remake PS4. It did come out on PS4. What about Xbox One? They still making games for the Xbox One? Yeah, I think it did. Oh no, wait, no, maybe it didn't. Maybe, I think with Xbox, it could be a thing where if you get the game... No, it's not on the Xbox One console. That's crazy that it came out on PS4, but not Xbox One. Alright. So I don't know if on PS4 you're stuck playing 30 FPS, it's possible. So I guess Xbox One has reached that point then when it's no longer getting games produced for it. PS4's got to be rapidly approaching that, right? Because I'm guessing that games would just perform like shit on the PS4. Although I don't know, it might be great. I have no idea. But saying that, so the strategy, this is the only tricky part really for this whole section, and really what you want to do is just bait this guy down the stairs. You can run past him, but it's kind of risky. You very... It's very likely that you'll get smacked, so considering we're doing a 2-chapter save here, it's a good idea just to play it safe. Yeah, I think Resident Evil 7 was on Xbox One, right? And this is the same engine. So you would think it'd be fine, but I'm guessing this has better graphics or something like that, and probably can't handle it. Okay, so we can just run past these knights, don't worry too much. You'll be fine. And then once you get here, you're pretty much done with this section. You just need to put the emblem in the wall, and we're good to go. Oh no, does anyone out there play? Is anyone playing this on PS4? What's it like? Let us know in the comment section. I'm interested. Does it play well? Does it play bad? But surely the PS4's got to be reaching the end of its life cycle. Right, so this is another one of our save points. I think I ended up saving it just at the beginning of the next chapter. It's a really good idea to do that, so you don't have to mess around watching cutscenes again. I kind of like to do that. Just if there's a save point right next to the start of the chapter, I like to go and use it rather than saving in between chapters. You know, it's up to you though. It doesn't really matter if you do it in the chapter select or the end chapter screen. All right, so crafting up a couple of flashbangs here. Let's go ahead and get that sorted. Okay, lovely. Let's talk to the merchant. I'm trading gunpowder, resources, selling that to him, getting the heavy grenade recipe as well. So, like I mentioned before, the 2 cupboards I didn't open. We've got 4 at the moment. They are up the stairs. I'm not sure if I look over there or not. Yeah, they're up there. Also, there's a butterfly lamp in the room with the merchant if you want to use the strange artifact or whatever it's called, that weird box key thing that we picked up to go and open it. You can get that too. It's a little bit of extra treasure if you want it. I'm not too bothered about getting it, but it's up to you. We were just in there saving it. This next section is very, very tricky to do no damage. Not a lot of fun at all. I'm gonna snipe these 2 novies. Get rid of them.
Fucking monsters.
And we're gonna use the pistol to take out the next couple of 2 shots in the head. Should get them out of your way. That one took 3 though. He was feeling brave. He ate his Weetabix this morning, mate. Let's get up here and open this. Open this. Open this. Open that as well. Grab all the stuff that looks useful. I'm not too bothered about money at the moment. If I see ammo or gunpowder, I'll probably go and grab it. But if it's just money, I'll usually leave it. There's static gunpowder on the table there. You get 5 of it. Really nice. Whipping out the sniper here and shooting this Novi. Pull out a flashbang. Chuck it into this corner. And that should take down 4 of the Novis. It's kind of what you're trying to do there. So we've got 5 flashbangs at the moment. I'm not sure if we use all 5. I like to shoot those 2 down, reload the shotgun here, and then throw the flashbang just to give yourself a second or 2. That timing is kind of important because more enemies spawn in that area. Shooting this enemy here will usually kill it, the one that's sort of in camouflage. It'll kill it quite quickly. Getting rid of those 3 Novis, pulling the switch, and then I'm going to chuck a flashbang off the ledge to try and stun any that are around. Yeah, if there's an enemy in your face like there was for me, try to use the shotgun to clear it out before you jump down. This one will always fly up out of that hole as you jump down. Be ready to shoot him with the shotgun. And we've got a hand grenade in there. There's also a ruby you can shoot down from the ceiling. And there's a green herb that I snagged as well on the way through. Alright. So, looking at the floor through here will stop the Novis from grabbing you as frequently. It's not something that just straight up can't happen. But if you look at the floor, they're way less likely to grab you. And when you get to here, you can throw a flashbang. And that'll stun up the enemies around you and hopefully give you a free exit. A very, very horrible no damage section. Not a lot of fun at all. Just because of the sheer amount of enemies that are around you. Once you get out here though, they will leave you alone. Alright, so rifle ammo. I'm gonna shoot this down. Shoot this. Shoot this. And we got another boss. Lovely. Get that. Open this. So when you come in here, you want to shoot the one on the left. I can never remember these guys' names, but 3 or 4 times to release him from the shackles. wait a few seconds before you shoot the bell. Make sure you're standing in the position I was when you shoot it. And then when you get to here, you want to use 2 of your heavy grenades on these guys. And a normal grenade as well. No, 3 heavy grenades, sorry, 3. And a normal grenade as well. And that should kill them. If it doesn't, you're going to have to snipe them in the back. This one didn't die for me, so I had to snipe him. I ended up shooting through that. Did I shoot him in the head as well? Was that a headshot to killing the... shooting that guy in the back? I think it was. Get absolutely wrecked. Psychic shot, mate. Psychic shot. Alright. Collateral damage. Let's grab up all the loot in this room. Smash the vases. Get the... whatever it is that we want. Just look out for enemies that are still lurking around. They mean business. Okay, we got the 2 unicorn horns. I think there's more loot down the bottom here. Yeah. Very nice. Some good loot in this room, so it's worth picking everything up. Even if you're going to sell it, like there's attachable mines and bolts in here. Obviously, we're not using those, but kind of useful. Alright. There we go. Sorted. Okay, so heading on to this section with the invisible novies. I think it's like they're just regular novies, but because they're in water, like their camouflage makes them invisible or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Where's Luis when you need him to explain things?
Sticking the landing.
Alright. So, just over an hour left of the run. We're making very, very good headway into this. So, when you come out here, you want to head to your right, crouch through here. When you get out of this tunnel, move to your right a little bit. You've got to go left to progress, but if you just sprint out to the left, you'll more than likely get attacked by the Novi. So move out to the right a little bit, and then sort of take a look, because the only way you can really see these guys is by their glowing green eyes. And if you, like I said, if you just sprint out to the left, you'll probably get jumped on. So it's a good idea to run to the right, unless you're confident to just shoot as you turn. Just play it safe. So I'm just kind of checking for the eyeballs. There they are. Another one. I think there's one more to deal with. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Make sure you grab the elegant crown that's in this area at the back. Putting the right gems into this makes it worth 100,000 pesetas, which is very, very vital and useful towards getting the rocket launchers we're going to need. I think in this run I buy 3 rocket launchers. One for what's this guy's? I can never remember these enemies' names. It begins with a V, but whatever.
Give me a break.
Yeah, we're going to use one for him, one for Krauser, and one for Sadler. Okay. So, opening up these boxes, there is a red barrel in the lantern above you. If you don't have one, we're going to need to slap one of those into the elegant crown. So we can do sapphire, yellow diamond. We don't want to use rubies. We want to use the 3 square stones and the sapphire and the yellow diamond. And that makes it worth 100k, which is really, really good. Let's go ahead and sell that. Oh. Yep, craft that up, lovely. Send in the first aid spray to storage as well.
Well done.
Alright.
You've proven yourself reliable.
Got the stuff we've got to sell, man. We are collecting a lot of stuff. We're up to 360k, which is insane. I think I bought the rocket launcher there. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to go back and get it. Couple of flashbangs, make some space. Yeah, I was looking, I think I was just looking here at what I want to sell. So the bolts, the mines. I was like, what am I doing with all this? Yeah, I think, yeah, I stored the rifle because I thought if I didn't, I wouldn't have space. So I ended up selling the mines, the bolts, the rifle got stashed away. And oh yeah, I was looking at the case upgrades I think as well, but I thought I'm going to wait till we can get the bigger one. Rather than, because it'll work out as to us spending about 100k. In fact, I think it might be exactly 100k you'll spend on cases if you buy that one and the next one. So I'm pretty sure I waited just to get the biggest one. Alright, so not in that much danger throughout this section, to be honest. As long as you got the rocket launcher, you're in pretty good shape. Just get all the drops that are in this area. We've got plenty of handgun ammo. I ended up discarding heavy resources because we get so many. But yeah, I've got 2 with me, so if you want to, if you're still at the merchant, you can always sell him one if you've got more than that. We find them so much. They're just everywhere because of the attaché case, but they're far more useful than handgun bullets in this run. Yeah, nothing down there for us. Let's keep going. Open this up. Okay. So we'll have our first dodge coming up. Be ready for that. You have to do it twice. And we got some shotty ammo. Did manage to snag that. I'll probably get it on the way out. So get ready with the rocket launcher at this point. Pull the switch. Come back this way. And this guy jump out about here. We're going to turn around. Come around here and turn on the liquid nitrogen shower, I guess. Wait for him to be frozen in it, and then shoot the floor where he's standing, and he'll be done. Get the gold monocle from him. There's a green herb in the corner there as well. Grab those shotgun shells that we missed, and that's it. Sorted. Very easy little section to get sorted. So for now, this is, like I mentioned, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but yeah, this is a segmented run. We're just going for each section, no damage, basically, although it does serve as something of a guide. You know, you can use this to get through the game. If you're stuck on a section, it definitely help you out. And so will the other one. I think some people may struggle to follow this guide, but the other guide is definitely a lot easier to follow. Definitely worth checking out, although there's some strategies that are the same in both. Make sure you come into this room. There's a lot of loot in here that's really, really high end. You'll got a high chance of finding heavy grenades. You can see I'm finding loads. I ended up discarding a couple of these heavy resources because I have so many. I think now I'm up to like 4 heavy grenades, which is really good. And yeah, we can dip out of this area. Yeah, but I think the next challenge I might try and take on is a deathless run. I'm going to be attempting that on my stream, I think, this week. So if it's something that you're interested in, come on over to the stream. Watch me try and beat professional mode without saving. Without dying, obviously. I'd love to have you. Love to have you. Come chat with the community. Come chat with me. And I don't know how long this will take, but I'd love to do a no damage, no save run. Like a single segment, no damage run. I think the way I'll probably do that is just do runs of the game, though, and see how many times I get damaged and how I can avoid taking damage. See how low I can get that number of times damaged in a single run, and I'd love to get it down to 0. It would be amazing to get it down to nothing. I think if I use safe strategies, there's a lot of the game that I could do quite easily, but there's still many tricky sections that are really difficult. I wouldn't be able to use a lot of the strategies that are in this run because they're, I wouldn't say they're risky, they're just not 100% success rate or even like really high success rate, you know, like there's so many variables, so much RNG that can hit you in the face in this game that it will be very, very difficult. But yeah, it's probably something I'll be doing on my stream, something to do for a little bit, and I'm really trying to grow the stream, man. I really want to get my stream up there in numbers, so if you feel like supporting me, come on over, twitch.tv/ifream, self-promotion for the win. I know lots of people on YouTube aren't really into Twitch so much, but if you are, give me a follow, man. Come check it out. It's where I put runs like this together a lot of the time. So if you want to ask me questions or just watch in general. And if you're not into Twitch and you've never really been over there, you may think that it's something that costs money or something. It's not. It's completely free to come and watch if that's something you're worried about. Feel free to come watch. Doesn't cost a penny. It's just live. Alright, so when we throw the flash in here, we come in and smash the box, and I like to wait around this banister before I jump over and go down, because otherwise the Bella Sister will follow you down. Shoot open this box. We're really looking for some Magnum ammo in this area for the strategy we're going to use for the El Gigantes. You don't have to do this strategy, and to be honest, if you're low on Magnum ammo and low on heavy grenades, I would recommend not doing the strategy that I'm going to do with the El Gigantes, and just doing it the normal Louis Springs dynamite way. So using the shotgun to push these guys back, one of them made it through, but he just decided to run past me. I guess he, I don't know, saw a famous person behind me or something. Alright, chucking a flashbang before we smash these boxes. We've grabbed the dynamite, so it's dynamite, flashbang, boxes, and then once we've grabbed all the loot from those boxes, we are leaving. Just get out of here. Okay, so yeah, this next strategy for the Gigantes is going to cost a couple of heavy grenades, but I think I've got like 4, so it was okay for me to do it. I also, at the beginning of this chapter, I've been talking a bit much, but I upgraded the Broken Butterfly to, I think, maximum power. If that's something that you haven't done yet, maybe don't slap the dynamite in and go back and do it. You can go back to the merchant at this point, but if you put the dynamite in, you can't go back to the merchant. But we did save it at the beginning of this chapter, and I feel like that section where you're getting the dynamite is fairly straightforward. It looks tricky because of the chainsaw people, but it's actually not that hard. Alright, so we're going to look up, throw 2 heavy grenades at these guys, and we want to wait for their animation where their head shakes to finish. And so 2 heavy grenades, a normal grenade, and 4 magnum shots with the fully upgraded Broken Butterfly should do it. I think I missed at least 1 there. There we go. And we want to get the Gigante here onto the platform, and we want to be standing near the switch so we can flashbang him and then pull the switch. You want to be really close to the switch when you pull that flashbang off, because otherwise he'll just back off the platform. So loot up this room. There are some SMG bullets in this room, which is kind of useful for later, so make sure you get those. There's also a hand grenade sitting on some sandbags right there. Grab all of those up. Useful, useful, useful. There's a red barrel that the armored Gigante drops. Yeah, so that strategy is a little bit quicker than doing it the normal way, obviously. It's up to you if you just want to do it the normal way. It saves a couple of minutes, probably. I wanted to get cheeky and try and use that strategy in the run, but if you haven't got the heavy grenades, if you've only got a couple, then you might just want to skip that strategy altogether. Same as the Magnum ammo. We do need some Magnum ammo for later, but I end up buying the Killer 7, so yeah, using those Magnum shots, I think we need 5 for Salazar in the Broken Butterfly that we've got upgraded. So if you've only, say, got 6 Magnum shots, I wouldn't bother doing that strategy. Same as if you're low on heavy grenades. Just do it normally, where you dunk the naked one and then get Luis to go and get the dynamite and jump on his back. Just be mindful of the grenades and the Broken Butterfly ammo that you've got. Alright. So everyone's favourite section. This takes forever, man.
Who are you calling Sancho?
There, it's moving. This should speed things up a bit.
I can't
Okay.
believe I'm doing this.
Hey, we're in a hurry, right? Oh, by the way,
What now?
hope you like thrill rides.
Hope you like thrill rides. Alright.
Going off the rails.
So, if the cart gets damaged here, obviously Leon isn't taking damage, but I feel like it's kind of cheating if I let that happen, so I wanted to get through these areas without the carts getting damaged. Not particularly difficult when you've done this a few times, you know where the enemies are coming from, and a few little strategies to keep the chainsaw guy away. It's not too difficult at all. Right, so we're going to get some enemies show up here. Be ready to shoot. One on the left, a couple on the right here. Or just one? Yeah, not too many enemies in this first section. Kind of manageable, but can be frustrating if you're missing your shots with the red 9. Kind of feel like you have to lead shots a little bit in this part of the run. You might have seen me miss 4 times there. I was trying to lead the shot, but I guess I didn't need to with that guy. Some enemies I feel like you can hit directly in this, and some of them you need to lead the shot on the minecart section. Okay. Yeah, so this first part is pretty short, to be honest. The second one's a bit longer, but 2 enemies on the right, 1 on the left. Oh no, 2 on the left, and I can't get these numbers right. It's late, I'm tired. I have been trying for a while to get this run done. I'm really happy that I've managed to get it finished. It's taken me a decent amount of time. Alright. Watch out for the dynamite dudes. Another enemy there. Lovely. And we got these guys with the barrels. Let's get rid of them. Shoot the sign. Okay, and we're pretty much done with the first cart section. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. Really happy with how this run came out. I definitely wanted to... I pushed really hard to get the sub 4 hour no damage run, but I really wanted to do sub 3. I feel like sub 3 is so much more manageable to watch. Even if you're just watching for enjoyment. I do really appreciate you staying through the video. I know that... What are we on now? Like a couple of hours in? You're still here watching at this point? No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It means a lot that you watch good portions of the content. Okay, so red hub there. Got this flag in here. I think I ended up just leaving these guys and just dipping rather than fighting them. Yeah, because I'll clue you in on a little YouTuber insider secret. If you're the kind of person, or well, it's not a bad thing, but well, no, it kind of is, I guess. Not in a you're a bad person kind of way. It's just a bad thing for a YouTube video. But if you're the kind of person that doesn't really like watching full videos, but you want to support the creator, so you leave a like and a comment and then just leave the video after a short amount of time, it actually really hurts a YouTube video. Because the most important thing for YouTube these days is engagement. So likes and comments do help, but watch time as well. Like, it basically, YouTube knows if you've done that. The amount of signals that YouTube is measuring these days, yeah, it's better if basically people watch the video. That's kind of the way it is. The best piece of advice I can give you, if you don't feel like you're going to watch a complete or the majority of a piece of content, then just don't open the video. That's probably the best thing you can do. Sounds like it's counterproductive towards like helping a creator, but it actually isn't. It's like, let's say you've got a 3-hour video and your average watch time is 5 minutes on that video. That's really bad. YouTube's like, well, that's got a really low percentage of watch retention, of viewer retention. Shooting those barrels up there is a really difficult shot, but it damages the chainsaw guy. So you want to try and hit that shot if you can. Definitely make fighting the chainsaw guy a little easier. But yeah, so what I'm trying to get at here is, if you are here and you're spending a long period of time watching my video, I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart. I'm not even going to try and promote my Twitch, but you should come over to my Twitch. Alright, so we've done a bunch of damage to the chainsaw guy with the barrels, so he's dead already. If he isn't dead for you, you're going to want to focus your shots on him until he dies. That's pretty much all you can do. Don't shoot his cart, you want to shoot him, and the bullets from the red 9 will stun him. Okay. So even if you don't kill him, unlike the first cycle of him getting near to the cart, he still won't attack the cart. I'm pretty sure if he hits you once, it's a GG. Which can be annoying. No, we're not, Luis. Calm down, calm down. Alright. And that's pretty much the minecart section sorted. You can see where they dug up the bugs, Luis. Thanks for the update, bud. Alright. Let's get on that lift. Alright, down we go. So, the route I take here is a little bit different. If you get unlucky here, a Novi will spawn really early and you'll hear it flapping about. And that's actually really unlucky to have that happen here. It sucks when it does happen, but it just kind of means you're going to be getting attacked more. And you want to keep an eye on your back throughout this area. If you haven't had one spawn, the first you should really hear them flying around is like here somewhere. There should be one that's sort of approaching you. Shoot this one that's on the wall. Shoot this one that's camouflaged here. And there's another one just around this corner. I like to shoot him with the pistol, then give him a kick, then shoot the barrel. Also, down the cave, directly opposite is a gold bar. I'm leaving it behind because I don't want to get snuck up on by these annoying Novis. But yeah, there's a gold bar down there. Throwing a flash into this area will stun up a bunch of these guys that are in your way. You just want to be watching your back with the shotgun just in case any of them are getting too close or they're preparing to lunge at you. Yeah, and that's it for this save. We're going to move on to Krauser next, which is not a fun fight to do no damage. Okay, jumping into the storage here, we're going to craft up some herbs and some flashbangs. I think I make 3 here, but we also want to get the combat knife so that we can repair it and use it for this fight with Krauser. If you do upgrade it like I do here, you want to make sure you equip it. I'm inlaying some sapphires into this flagon, and a ruby and a red beryl into the extravagant clock that we have. Selling them, a couple of the mixed herbs, and yeah, just repairing and upgrading the knife so that we can use that during the Krauser fight. And we're off. So this next section is the Krauser fight and also chapter 12. Chapter 12 is quite a short one. But this fight with Krauser is a bit tricky to do without getting hit, so I wanted to make a save before this. It's also not a very fun fight. But chapter 12, to be fair, is quite straightforward. You do have a choice as to what way you take chapter 12, but that's up to you. So you really need to be on it with your parries and evades during the Krauser fight and kind of just learn what attacks he's going to do. I like to run up on him at first. If you run up at him straight away, he'll usually just throw an attack out for you to parry. But yeah, look for the openings after a parry. You can kind of tell when you've got a second or two to run up and stab him, and you need to be quick, just running up into his face. So we bought the fully upgraded knife. Obviously you want to make sure you have that equipped, but we can sell that back for easy pesetas later, just to make sure that we have enough money for rocket launchers and stuff. So just go on and keep kicking him when we can. Try to aim for his face if you can. I think it does more damage when you do that. Sure, being stabbed in the face doesn't feel too nice. There we go, he's got to be close now. There we go. Sorted. Alright, that's chapter 11 done. A really long chapter, to be fair, because you've got the dynamite area, the gigantes, the carts, the novis, and then Krauser. There's just like a ton of stuff in that chapter that can really ruin your day. So in this area we've got a boot knife, 2 green herbs, and a red herb. I think I already picked up the red herb during the fight with Krauser, so it's not here for me, but it was in that area where I sort of circled around for a second. So we're going to go ahead and use the golden egg strap for Salazar. We've got 1 golden egg, and you can get the second one by going back to the throne room. I'm not going to go and get the second one, I'm just going to use 1 egg. Yeah, no, Ada, I'm not listening. So yeah, if you want to go and get it, you'll have to go to the right here and open up the gate and go back to the throne room near where you fought the 2 blind guys. Run through there and get back to the throne room so you can grab the other golden egg from the throne room. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go and get it. If you do go that way, bear in mind, as soon as you come up in this elevator, you pretty much want to make a beeline for it. Because there are parasites in that room, and you want to try and get rid of them. And the easiest way to do it is to make sure you run straight there. They've got a really predictable pattern if you do that. Or you can just flashbang them. But it's obviously quicker not to do that using the strategy we're going to use. Making a little bit of money by selling some stuff here. I want to get the TMP back. Just because I don't have a lot of shotgun ammo. And we've got to run past a ton of enemies in this next area. I'm going to go ahead and sell the combat knife back to the merchant to get some money back for that. We do lose a bit of money, but we get most of it back. And I want to get all of the power upgrades for the TMP. I'm going to register this as a shortcut into number 6. If you're doing the same strategy as me when it comes to Salazar, you want to make sure that you've got the broken butterfly. If you've got the upgrades like I have, where I've upgraded the power, you want to make sure that you've got at least 5 bullets. I think you can do it in 4. But yeah, having 5 makes it nice and comfortable. If you're only upgrading the broken butterfly once, which is what speedrunners do, you're going to want 6 bullets, I think. But yeah, this is why I mentioned earlier, it's not a great idea to do that strat with the Gigantes that I do, because you'll end up using bullets and you kind of relying on a little bit of RNG to give you some more bullets. So yeah, bear that in mind if you're doing this strategy. Or if you don't have the Magnum bullets, you can go and get the other golden egg here. But once you pass, I think, beyond this point, I'm not sure if you can go back and get it. It's like, yeah, you can go back now, but when you cross through this door, I don't think you can. So bear that in mind. Something to think about. Up to you what you do. I'd say the golden egg strat is hitting him with 2 golden eggs basically kills him, but it's a little bit easier than what we're going to do. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead. Okay, so smashing up these barrels. And we want to bait this shield guy around to us, and then we're going to use the TMP to push these first couple of enemies back. There's also an archer up here that we're going to use the TMP on. Get rid of them. And then when we get up here, we want to use the barrel in the back of the Salazar statue to blow it up. So just look up there and shoot it with the pistol. Some of you asked before if I knew about the barrel in the back of the Salazar statue. I did know about it, I just didn't use it in my previous run because I was using the statue to take out a couple of enemies, but that's a good deal slower, so I wanted to use it in this run. Okay, so we're going to throw a flashbang at that enemy that throws axes and then run up here as quick as we can. Throwing another flashbang here past this scythe guy, and that'll stun up all of these enemies. I'm trying to smash open these barrels, and I ended up trying to pick stuff up, but it made me kick these couple of enemies, which is kind of annoying because it's a little bit slower in this situation, and we don't want that because we're about to get squashed by these big boulders. I wanted to stab this enemy in the back because she's kind of frustrating, but you want to make sure you hit her with a flashbang first. If you time it right, you can stab her and run past when the boulder rolls past you. So we're going to hit this enemy a couple of times. Again, I didn't really want to suplex there, but it is what it is. If you stick to the left here while running up this last flight of stairs, you can actually just run past that boulder, the spike ball or whatever it's called. As soon as you get up here, pull the switch after defeating that enemy that's on the switch, and that'll just send a ball down to crush anyone that's following you. Makes your life a little bit easier. So we've got a green herb that's always in those that barrel I just smashed, and we've got a treasure in the chest just there. We've also got a treasure here. I think this one's a clock. I think you get a mirror with pearls and rubies and a clock out of this area, and then we've got a couple of barrels to smash, and then we can just pull the switch. Be ready with the snipe when you start going up, because there's one of the red caped guys that come up and stun you, and I think if you hit him 3 or 4 times he'll die with the sniper rifle we have. Getting rid of him is kind of useful. I've heard that you can use the switch to kill that guy, but yeah, I find it easier just to use the snipe on the way up, to be honest, especially on this run. We've got the snipe quite powerful. Right, so we're looking out for that one archer. You saw me blow the barrel up to get rid of her. She can be a nuisance if you're not quick killing the guy in the red. And these 3 enemies will all stack up here when they do shoot the barrel. It just gets rid of them. You can use the pistol, our weak little pistol, save some ammo, get better weapons. You can shoot this barrel here to get rid of this guy if you want to, or just shoot him with the pistol. Entirely up to you. You kind of just want to look out for enemies trying to jump on to the lift. Look out for archers as well. Archers are a big nuisance during this section. The riot gun's so useful for hitting multiple enemies. It's got a nice spread on it. And it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but well, it does decent damage, but it's not a huge amount of damage, but it knocks enemies back really well, which is kind of what we want. Keep an eye on this area with the banister or the railing for that red guy. You want to be ready to snipe him as he starts to show himself when you're on the way up. So the next set of enemies should really come from these 2 platforms. I think there's one more platform they can come from, but the majority of enemies come from these 2 platforms. I like to try and catch them out of the air as they're jumping. It just makes me chuckle. It's pretty funny stuff. Yeah, this guy though, he wasn't having any of it, so I pushed him back with the shotgun. I try not. The reason I'm using the TMP here is because I don't want to use too much shotgun ammo in this area. I haven't got a lot of it anyway, but if you use the shotgun on the way up the tower here, on the way to the lift, you'll end up with very little ammo left by the time you reach the top, man. Just because there's so many enemies in the way, you're going to be pushing back so many with the shotgun. That's why I like to save the TMP bullets for this section. And you can just, I really like the way you can just buy weapons, tune them up, sell them, and then you get your money back basically, and just use certain weapons for certain sections. It's a pretty nice idea, but that is the last time we'll be using the TMP, so I will be selling it again real soon. When we get to here, we're going to use the snipe to take out these 2 archers that are watching us, and there is a lantern as well hanging from the scaffolding ahead of us. We can shoot that down. If you want to save every possible second, you can go into your settings here and turn on, I think it's hold sprint instead of toggle, and then if you just tap sprint across these scaffoldings, you can run across it. You can also do like a stair skating technique where you keep crouching, and that works too, but I just like to play it safe, to be fair, when walking across them. I don't want to mess that up and lose the run, just because I was trying to save every second. Yellow herb in here, there's a couple of barrels as well. We're going to go up here, there's a first aid spray up there, and a couple of barrels as well. Worth getting. Snag up all this stuff, and then we can go and talk to the merchant again. And we're going to go into storage. I want to mix up this herb, store away that flashbang. I'm making another, oh sorry, the first aid spray, making another flashbang. And then we're on our way. I'm pretty sure I talk to the merchant in the next chapter. What I like to do is, if I've got menuing to do, if I really need to do it, I'll go into the typewriter to do it. But I usually do it just after I've saved. That way I can figure out what I need to do, load the game, and not spend like a minute fumbling through my menus trying to figure out what I'm doing. Registering the broken butterfly to the shortcut I need. And as soon as Salazar spawns, you want to hit him with 1 rifle bullet out of our rifle. And then when he gets close, line up the egg shot. Make sure you equip the egg and don't use it. I've done that before. Then when he gets stunned, hit him with the broken butterfly and he'll be dead. You need to make sure you hit him in the head with those shots just to get rid of him. There's a bit of loot in this room once you've defeated him. So if you have the 2 eggs, you can just throw the 2 eggs at him and he'll be dead. If you're struggling to line up the egg throw, I like to just line it up a little bit to the right of him. That usually works because he does move to the right at the bottom there. He kind of moves into it, which makes it a little easier to hit. If you haven't got the broken butterfly upgraded, you're going to need to hit him with 2 sniper shots during that fight. But because we've got it upgraded, we only have to hit him with 1. And that kind of gives us more of a, I don't know, an easy time when it comes to hitting the egg. If you hit him with 2 sniper shots and then you try and throw the egg, it's really tight and you have to make sure that, you know, you're really accurate with where you're throwing the egg. That is the speedrun strat, but because I'm just going for no damage here, I picked up extra treasures. We've got more loot, which is really decent. So, yeah, we're in good shape. We're moving on to the island then. We've got a couple more enemies to run past. A couple of knights that are hanging out around at the exit area of this chapter. Let's just get out of here. Get this done. And we're on our way, mate. So, got a barrel there. I like to smash that. With this knight, you can just pretty much run into him. He'll throw the sword out early and you can just sort of run past him. And with the second knight, it's a good idea just to take the turn wide. See what I mean in a second. Just sort of hang out over here on the edge and he'll miss you. And you've got a barrel right there. We've got some magnum ammo, which is useful for later on. We do need a couple of magnum shots, but don't put them into the broken butterfly. I'm going to end up selling the broken butterfly. We don't really have a huge use for magnums now, but we have a small use for magnums during the Krauser fight is where it's most useful, but getting any extra ammo is decent because we can use it on chapter 15, but I am going to sell the broken butterfly and get the killer 7. So we managed to beat that chapter in like 9 minutes, which is really nice. I'm going to drop a save. What save are we on now? I'm not sure which one it is. I think it might be this save. Maybe it's a chapter, save 11. And we're on chapter 13. Yeah, so if you were working chapter to chapter, you would be you're trying to get the S+, you would be one save behind the chapter number that you're on. But I like to save it at the beginning of that chapter rather than go into a typewriter. Crafting up a flashbang here. And we're going to now head along and go to, I think there's a cheeky strat here, so we don't want to go to the merchant. We don't want to go to the merchant straight away. We're going to use a grenade for this next strategy, and it's kind of difficult at first, but once you practice it a couple of times, again, that's why I saved it at the beginning of the chapter, and the reason for that is the enemies are sort of in specific spots, and if you go to the merchant and save it and then try and work from there, a lot of the time the enemies won't be in the same position by the time you get to the area you want to be in. So we're just going to hop up there, move the turret, come through here, equip the shotgun. You need to be kind of quick with this. So we're going to go ahead and shoot this guy in the left leg, and he'll sort of go to the side. Shoot this guy in the legs as well to knock him back. Equip a grenade and look up over this guy's shoulder and a little bit to the left, sort of over his, his right shoulder, our left side of him, and throw it up. When he gets hit by the grenade, he'll get knocked onto the stairs, and then you can run up on the right side of the stairs while the turret is shooting at him. Meaning that you can just get through. You might need to shoot the brute in the red box on his arm to get past him. If he's facing you, you'll probably need to shoot him in the box. If he's got his back turned to you, which he sometimes does for some reason, you'll be able to just run past him. So bear that in mind when you do that strategy. It seems tough at first, but practice it a little bit. I'm sure you'll get on just fine. You just need to be quick with lining up the grenade. So when we get to here, I like to throw a flashbang to run past these dudes. There's the second set of enemies in this area are right here, and you can just use the riot gun to shoot them both in the leg with one shot and run past. And then we're going to get through here. So down here is a elegant crown treasure, and we want to get that. So we're going to snipe this guy with the rocket launcher, just because he can cause a really bad time in this next area, although that does alert the enemy. So be ready. You might want to improvise a little bit here if enemies are getting a little too close. Maybe push them back with the riot gun. Don't use too much ammo with it though. We are going to need it. So make sure you're not wasting ammo. I like to really minimize. Right here I'm sort of figuring out which side I should go on the way back, just because, you know, there might be more enemies on one side than there is on the other, and there was one enemy on one side and 3 on the other, so I just took the side of one enemy. It's one shotgun shot opposed to 2 or 3, so it makes sense just to take that route back. When we get up here, we can shoot this trap out the way. A little bit of stair skating there. I think I messed it up at one point, but yeah, that kind of helps. When you come through this door, go to the left, go up the stairs, stand here and just use the pistol to do some damage to this enemy, but also lure the others out. And I ended up shooting this trap, but you actually want them to run into the trap. I think I still got 1 enemy with it, but if you time it right, you can get 2, sometimes 3 as well, which is kind of nice. But I threw away a grenade here. I'd advise not using a grenade in this area, and this guy still wasn't dead. Really strong enemies. Yeah, use the trap better than I did there, and you'll have a better time. Luckily, I got a grenade back, and we're also going to pick another one up that's in a scripted location soon. In those 2 lockers, you usually get really strong ammo. I think the one on the right always has shotgun shells, but the one on the left usually has strong ammo in it as well. If you get unlucky, you might get some gunpowder, but I a lot of the time get 2 sets of shotgun shells out of those lockers, which is really nice. Make sure you open them. So skipping the cutscene that we get here, jumping down, and we can just run in between these enemies. They always move in that pattern, so we can just get past them nice and easy. Let's go up here then, and we're going to go through here. Grab the handgun ammo that's on the side. Keep following this path. These enemies just kind of let you run past them. And at the back of this area is a box that I like to shoot open and see what's in it. It's just pesetas though, so I'm just going to run past it. Keep going, keep going. And around this corner, I think there's like a bin with a hand grenade in it. That hand grenade's always there, so make sure you grab that. And we can just run past this dude that comes out the oven. If we stick to the left, you can shoot him if you want to, but if you just stick to the left, he might stun you like he did me, but yeah, he's fairly easy just to run past. Alright, so coming into this area then with the regen enemies. I'm not sure if I killed one of these guys in my previous run, but yeah, we're not going to kill any of these until the end. You can just pretty much shoot their leg and run past them. Pull this switch to restore the power to this area, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this switch to open up this shutter. And there's a longer animation that has to play when you pull that shutter or the switch for the shutter, but you can just aim and it'll break the animation, allowing control of Leon a little bit early. There's a first aid spray, gunpowder, and a red barrel in that room. Kind of a nice little juicy room. So the solution for this puzzle is always the same, if you just want to copy what I do. It's a fairly straightforward puzzle though. Alright, so when you run into this room where you grab the keycard, be ready with the shotgun on the way out, because the regen guy is going to be waiting outside the door, so just get ready, shoot him in the leg, and run past. We're not going to worry about fighting these enemies just yet because they have the parasites inside of them. We don't have the bioscope yet. Let's go ahead, flip this switch before we go anywhere else. You don't want to get to the area where you've got to use the keycard and there's no power to it. When you come through here, go right first towards the freezer and then a left right here. You don't always have to, well, you don't have to pull the shutter up. You can actually just go around, but I feel like it's a little bit safer to use the shutter. I think it's quicker to not use it, but safer to use it. And because of these regen enemies, we can't really do much about. I kind of just like to play it a little bit safe in this area. So when you pull this switch, or put the keycard in, this guy's going to spawn into the area. I'm going to turn around quickly and shoot him in the leg.
Shit, again?
There we go. And then run past him. So I like to leave the room here and come and stand at the bottom of this hallway. When you come down here, look out for the other regen guy, because he can be in different places. He might be usually down there, down where I'm looking here. There it is, you can see him. If he spots you, he'll run over, so just be careful, be ready for him. So this guy stood up for me, which was actually kind of lucky. Well, you could consider it unlucky, but it just allowed me to run past him. But if you move at the same time I did anyway, and just sort of strafe from left to right, he'll just jump at you and miss because you're moving away from his attack, and then you can run back and get the key card. Basically, by the time he gets to the position we were in, the key card will be done by the time you get back, so it's a nice way to time it. I could have shotgunned him in the leg again and ran past, and that would have made it a little bit easier, but I want to save the shotgun shells. Okay, so we got that key card number 2. We're in this area. Smash open this box, get whatever's inside. Look over the railing here, and you can see an enemy creeping towards the stairs. You can snipe him. These enemies are kind of tough, and they might not die from one sniper shot. And I also missed, which is fantastic. Also, a couple of these guys like to turn into Las Plagas. If these guys are getting close to you, if you back up the stairs, like here, they won't come past this area with the stairs, and I don't know why, to be honest. It's kind of strange. Usually I don't like using these cheese spots, but I feel like this one is kind of dumb. Like, it's kind of a position where, you know, if you come into this area, you look down, you see enemies, you probably will stay at the top of the stairs just to, you know, get the shots on them, unless you're using a shotgun or something and you're going to run into their faces. But yeah, I feel like that's a really stupid cheese spot, to be honest. I probably should have put a bit more thought into that one, like made it, because those guys, a lot of enemies will do that. They won't go past certain points. So if you run back, you'll be able to avoid even having to deal with enemies because they'll just back up. Alright, so there's a bunch of ammo and pickups in this room, specifically rifle ammo. So make sure you get all of that. Red herb here as well. My loot is looking a little bit full at this point. Here we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and smash this open. There's the bioscope. Sorted. Discarded one of the large resources because we got too many. Okay, so I'm putting the bioscope onto the snipe. And I like to kill all of these guys because when we put the other keycard in after getting the wrench from them, if you only kill the one that has the wrench, the odds are the enemies that run into the room to attack you while the keycard is copying or whatever, they'll all start destroying these tanks, and you'll have like 3 of these guys flopping around, and also normal enemies as well. So it's a good idea to take all of these dudes out. I like to just use the snipe, pick them off. I've got a setting on my scope that makes the bugs a little bit easier to see, in my opinion, although that's kind of up to you. If you're wondering why the scope looks pink and green, it's just a setting in the, I think it's the display settings or maybe graphics. You should be able to do that yourself if you want to. There's the wrench. Well, one more of these guys to get. You can usually hit 2 of these bugs in one shot if you move to the side of them, but I feel like hitting the rest of the bugs is kind of difficult if you do that. Like, it's easier to be head on waiting for them to stand up. If you're really struggling to defeat these enemies, you can jump over the sort of open windows and through the doors and just keep looping them around, avoiding them, and when they climb over you can snipe the bugs. It's kind of what I did in my last run, but it takes much more time to do. So once we put the keycard in after using the wrench, these enemies will all start spawning in. A couple of these guys have dynamite, so be careful of them. You want to watch out for them entering the room. Be ready with the shotgun if they do. And there's one. Yeah, just keep track of where the dynamite goes. This guy almost had me, man. Shooting him in the nuts. Got the easy stab on him. There's another dynamite. That was actually a decent dynamite for us because it hurt this guy a little bit, I'm guessing. Alright, keycard's ready. So once you've got the keycard, don't worry about finishing off enemies. Just chuck a flashbang out and dip out of the room. Get any loot that's around if you want to. I think this guy didn't get stunned by the flash, so I ended up just shotgunning him. Yeah, you can see that my shotgun ammo is running really low. We've got like 5 left. You do need some for the next chapter as well, so it kind of sucks that we're low, but is what it is. Wouldn't you know it, I got some shotgun shells there. There's also a little crate next to us here on the left. Let's see what you get out of that. Got a knife. Oh well. Can't win them all. And yeah, use the keycard here and you're done with the chapter. So, not actually too much of a difficult chapter. That first little strategy is kind of tricky, but most of that chapter is really straightforward. And it's just a bit of a long one. What's that, 11 minutes? Yeah, there we go, sorted. So save the game after the chapter, and we'll be on save number 12 now on chapter 14. Which ain't bad, we've definitely made up a save. The reason I do that is because in this chapter, we're going to save at the beginning of the chapter, but we're also going to save midway just before the Krauser fight, because the Krauser fight can definitely cause some problems. Alright. And this is why I mentioned at the beginning of this video that it's a good idea to push back your first save. So grabbing the crystal ore and the couple of barrels or boxes that are in that room. Pushing Ashley over here so she can open up the door for us. While she's doing that, we can make use of our time that we've got waiting for her and open up these boxes and lockers. I like to shoot the box that's in the back corner, and if there's ammo in it, I'll run over and get it, but if it's money, I'll just leave it. Right. Shooting over Ashley's shoulder. Again, same sort of thing here. If this is all just money, I'll tend to leave it, but if there is ammo here, I'll run in. So, head into the merchant then. We're going to go into our treasures. We're going to put the stones into the other elegant crown that we got a little bit earlier. This gives us a nice cheeky 100k, and we can put a ruby and a red beryl into the elegant clock as well. We'll sell all this stuff that we've got to sell. We can sell the TMP as well, the broken butterfly, and the mixed herbs. And now we've got 500k, which is crazy. So we're gonna buy the biggest case upgrade now, get the Killer 7 as well, and also a rocket launcher. I'm going to go ahead and I think store that rocket launcher in a minute, but I'm going to upgrade the power of the Killer 7 once, and the capacity of it once as well, so it can hold 9 bullets. And I'm going to store away the Killer 7 and the rocket launcher. We need that for the Krauser fights. There's no point carrying it now. Putting the normal scope on. I think I registered a shortcut for heavy grenades here, maybe? Or maybe it was the... Yeah, I think it was the heavy grenades. I'm also carrying a random fish right now. I should have sold that to the merchant, but never mind. My inventory's a bit stinky, mate. Alright. So, when you come up here, you can go ahead and shoot these boxes if you want to, just to open up all this stuff. One thing to bear in mind is to get this chapter done quickly, we need 2 heavy grenades. Someone actually pointed out in my previous video that I thought it was 2 heavy grenades and a normal grenade, but it's just 2 heavy grenades. So we need 2 heavy grenades for one of the tricks that we're going to do in this chapter to make things a lot faster, specifically at the wrecking ball section. So you can just get through that section a lot quicker. So make sure you have those. If you don't, you might want to start saving your gunpowder to make heavy grenades, and this is kind of why I mentioned earlier that we want to make sure that we're saving heavy grenades and not using them, and also forcing RNG in a couple of areas so we can get them. And just, you know, if you're one short, you can always craft them. You might get lucky and get them around the wrecking ball as well, but yeah, they can be kind of hard to find sometimes, but that's also why we bought the recipe, just in case we need an extra one or two. Even if you only have one and you can't find another one, if you do throw the heavy grenade at the wall we're going to throw it at, it'll still do damage to it and make the fight quicker, but not as quick as what we're going to do. So I used a grenade here just because these guys are kind of being frustrating. They are, and I like to throw a nade at those enemies because they all run at you at once. There's actually a really stupid bug in this area where Ashley gets grabbed in a minute. Loot up all of this stuff after killing those enemies, and don't forget the barrels. There's also a velvet blue hanging from the ceiling above me right now. If you want to get that, I'm not really interested in it though, to be honest. But yeah, there's a stupid bug here where you'll see the enemy grab Ashley and jump through a window in a minute. It's scripted to happen, it always happens. Completely whiffed my shot there, but that's okay. Wasting shotgun shells, not too happy about that. What are you going to do? So, this enemy here, you see this back right corner where he's sort of walking towards? There's no door there, there's nothing there. That's where he carries Ashley, and if you're down at the bottom of the stairs fighting these enemies, then Ashley, well, the cutscene will play where Ashley gets carried through a door and carried away. But there's no door there. There's literally no door there. It's just absolute BS that the game pulls on you. I really wish it wouldn't do that. Alright. There's really only small things in this game that I don't like and I would change. That's definitely one of them. Another one that I really don't like is that Leon can't step over enemies. And if you've put an enemy on the floor, you can't run past them. Sniping out that one guy there and getting rid of his Plagas head, and then we're going to throw a flashbang here so we can just run past these enemies. We don't want to fight them. We haven't got a huge amount of ammo at the moment, so it's a good idea just to use the flashbang just to get past. If you want to get the barrels in this area, I'll show you the first couple that I get. There's also an emerald in the back left, sort of in the left of this area under the pipe. I leave it alone though because I don't really need it. Save me a few seconds, but we are waiting for Ashley to catch up to us here, so it's up to you. Yeah, I think here I went and put the bioscope back on the snipe because we're going to need it to kill one of those regen enemies in a moment.
Okay, we go at the same time.
Yeah.
So to get this thing with the switch right, you basically want to press the button just before it reaches the 10 on the dial. Alright, so let's open up these lockers, this suitcase, get whatever's inside, grab the snipe ready. Don't put Ashley in the locker here. And what we're going to do is shoot the bugs out on this enemy. And as soon as you shoot this first set of bugs, I missed that shot, which is kind of frustrating. And he missed as well. There we go, mate. We're both terrible. Right, and just run past him. It doesn't matter if he's a little bit further down the corridor when you get rid of the bugs. Don't worry about it. Make sure you don't miss this. If you miss this one, then yeah, the regen guy is going to catch up to you and you're not going to have a good time. But if you time it right, just as soon as you get rid of the bugs, you run for the switches and you haven't put Ashley in the locker, yeah, you'll be good to go and you can just not have to deal with the second phase of that regen guy. So I'm telling Ashley to operate the bridge. I'm shooting barrels while she's doing that. There's also some rats in this area. There's one sort of behind me right now and one ahead where we just smashed those barrels. And there's two over by the switch that we're going to pull in a minute. If you want to get those, I'm not going to bother with them because we've got enough spinels, or we've got plenty of loot. I've got enough loot to get the stuff I want. There were some areas in this run where loot was a bit tight earlier on. But now that a lot of our loot has come back to us from selling weapons and stuff, we've got plenty to get the 2 rocket launchers that we need. So when you pull the switch, you want to look down here with the snipe and use it to take out 4 enemies. Hit your shots here. You do not want to miss these shots. Make sure that you're being as accurate as possible. I think I got a 2 for 1 there, little collateral for you. Once you kill 4, come down here and run past this pillar and then run back. That'll set off the regen guy, and you want to look back down here and kill 1 more enemy. You need to hit that shot pretty quickly, and then we're going to go back on ourselves to avoid the regen dude. If he is like really close to you and he's about to grab you, you can shotgun him and put him down. But if you're fast enough, you can just run away from him. He won't catch you. I think Leon and him are about the same speed. Maybe Leon's a tiny bit faster, but yeah, once you get back across here, Ashley will drop the bridge and that'll get rid of him. It's always funny to see. It's like some sort of Wile E. Coyote cartoon, mate. Funny stuff. Again, the solution here is always the same. Feel free to copy that solution to get through there easily. That puzzle can be a little bit tricky first time you do it, but sorted. Open up these barrels, and usually I'd use the pistol to kill these parasite enemies, but because our pistol is kind of crap, I'm just going to use the a flashbang. There's like, I think there's 3 or 4 of them here. So just go ahead and chuck a flashbang to get rid of them. Grab whatever loot they drop. Move on. Open up this barrel. Keep going. And there's a few boxes in this area we want to open. We're going to open up this one, get whatever's inside. Shotgun shells are nice. I'm pretty sure this area is really loot dense for the boxes. Like, you get really good loot out of the boxes, so it's a good idea to go and get them. Before you interact with the crane, make sure you go around here and get these boxes and whatever's inside. Alright, so moving around. Let's get Ashley inside then. Be ready with a flashbang when you spawn in, and then the snipe to take out this archer. I like to get rid of him first. It's kind of annoying that the first shot missed, but there we go. Right, so get the heavy grenades out, turn around, throw them at the crack in the wall that Ashley's hitting with the wrecking ball. Make sure you hit it with 2. I like to shoot this barrel to get rid of the dynamite guy. I got those 2 boxes and also these 2 boxes. Again, really loot dense area. Once you've got that second set of boxes, you can look over to your left, shoot this barrel. This guy was being nice and just letting me run past. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. So we shot open those boxes earlier, and you can get whatever loot was inside now. You want to press the button as soon as possible, though, to get the lift moving towards you. You're going to have these enemies coming. Shoot that barrel to take out if any enemies that are near it. You can see how much shotgun ammo we've just picked up. We've got like 14 now. So I'm just playing it safe here, waiting for these guys to get a little close, throwing a flashbang. Ashley's coming over. If anyone gets too close, just push him back with a shotgun. Don't let him grab Ashley, obviously. This guy's not happy. Yeah, using a lot of shotty ammo, but that's okay. We don't really have too much left of the game, but we do need some shotty ammo for the next chapter, so make sure you've got some. Yeah, there we go. That's a much quicker way to do that.
We work well together, don't we?
I guess so.
No.
Right? Maybe someday I'll become an agent like you.
No, Ashley. No, hell no. Hell no. You are useless.
All threats.
No.
Right. Well, either way, first we have to make it out of here.
You're no fun.
And you're not a good... You are not a good agent. Leon may not be fun. You're just terrible, Ashley. If you've played this game on professional, I know I mentioned this before in another run, but if you've played this game on professional, you'll just know how useless Ashley is. She's so annoying. But it is what it is. I suppose she's not cut out for these kind of things, you know. And I don't even care about that, like, you know, the fact that she doesn't fight and stuff, that's fine. Her AI is just kind of bad sometimes. Like, if she gets dropped, she'll just sort of stand there for 5 seconds, and you have to back up and help her. You'll help her again, and then she stands there doing nothing for far too long. It's really annoying. Alright, so once we've got to this point, we're going to make a save real soon, but we've got a few more enemies to deal with. They're really straightforward though. Just go ahead and stab this guy. You can run straight up on him. There's a room behind us that has a little bit of looting if you want to get it. I didn't get it. I didn't bother with it here, but there could be ammo in there, gunpowder as well, so it might be worth checking. I probably should have checked it, to be honest, because I do need a decent amount of flashbangs in the next chapter, and I didn't have enough, so I was kind of counting on getting it from enemies. So it might be worth checking that room just to get whatever loot is in it. Smash open these barrels. I'm pretty sure you get decent amount of loot from the barrels that are in this area, just because it's before a boss fight. Usually the game gives you nice ammo and stuff. Submachine gun ammo there. I don't think I'm going to be using the submachine gun though. So grab up all of this stuff. Make sure you're smashing all the barrels. It's annoying when you get pesetas at this point, because we don't need them at all. Like, we're so good for money. We just want ammo, man. Grenades are nice. At this point, we need 1 more heavy grenade, so that's something to bear in mind. Unless, I mean, you can do stuff without the heavy grenade, it just takes longer. Right, so we're going to drop a save before Krauser. And when we gain control again, we want to get our Killer 7. I'm going to discard this fish. And I'll probably discard the other fish as well. Craft up a heavy grenade here, so I've got 2 heavy grenades, I've got 1 extra. You do only need 1 for the next area, but having 2 is nice, and you can do one section a tiny bit faster by having an extra 1. So as long as you've got 1, you're good. Don't worry too much. But yeah, 2 is nice. It's not really something you need, but it can help out a little bit. In hindsight, to be fair, I probably shouldn't have crafted that heavy grenade, because it kind of put me in a bad spot in the next chapter. Right, so when you gain control of Leon here, wait for Krauser to stop shooting, look up and pop him with the Killer 7. If you hit him twice in the head like I just did, and then a 3rd time when he jumps down, it should take 1 shotgun shot to push him back. If you turn around here, you can find the Rhinoceros Beetle just on the wall, which is worth 10k, so it's kind of worth grabbing. I don't really need it, but I thought I would show it because it's a nice bit of loot that takes very little time to get. It's a really easy 10k. So we're gonna turn this wheel, and there's a green herb to our right, and also whatever was in that barrel. So let's go ahead and grab the gunpowder, the green herb. Gunpowder is super valuable at this point because we need it to make a lot of flashbangs in the next chapter. So that's something to bear in mind. I think we need something like 6, and it's nice if you have 7, but you can make do with 5. 6 is good, 7 is great.
That was the first thing you taught me.
Yeah, because the next chapter sucks. If you're willing to do things a bit slower, you'll be alright. So when you jump down there, you can either wait in the alcove, turn around and shoot Krauser with a shotgun, or you can try and blow up the mine early and just run through, and Krauser will chase you, but he'll despawn when you get around to the area where he shoots you with the bow. So you can just run away from him, to be fair. It's up to you how you play it out. But if you're going to shoot him, make sure you use a shotgun, otherwise you probably won't do enough damage. All of this area is really scripted, you just pretty much just run him through. But yeah, like I said, if you just jump down, shoot that mine and run away when he sort of jumps out on you, you can just avoid getting grabbed by him. It works every time. Unless you're really slow or something. Alright, so red herb. Grab that if you want to. There's a really cheeky strategy here where you can just run through this area and duck under the explosive bows. But there's a good chance you'll get hit. I just like to make him miss his bows, and if you hit him twice with a snipe, then he's done for. And he'll leave you alone. You can get that box. I'm not sure what that had in it, I didn't really see, but there's a green herb there as well. When you get to here and the camera focuses on Krauser, turn the camera away, blow up the mine, blow up the box, and grab whatever's in there. I'm going to reload the snipe here, but we want the Killer 7 back out. As soon as you get into this area, keep running forward and get behind this pillar over here. And I think I missed that shot. You can get an easy headshot on Krauser right there. When he falls down, kick him, hit him in the head again, and you pretty much just want to cycle this. Just evade, shoot him in the face, evade, shoot him in the face. You might get the chance to get a kick in as well. You want to save 1 bullet with the Killer 7 though. Make sure you save 1 bullet. Use the shotgun to finish Krauser off. Yeah, we need 1 bullet at least for chapter 15, so make sure you save that. This parry is the hardest parry in the game. I'm convinced it is. It's really, really precise. You have to hit it at the very last second to get that parry to work. So be ready for it. It's literally just down to timing. Yeah, more than likely, or a lot of the time, I'll get hit there, so be careful when he flies around that corner at you. I need to look into the speedrun. I think there is a strategy where you can run past him, but I still think you get hit. Alright, so whatever's here, grab all of that, hop over this, evade right here. Once you're here, you don't have to worry about Krauser jumping on you anymore. You can whip out the rocket launcher for the final fight. I was messing up my inventory here like an idiot. I still didn't equip the rocket. Okay, grab all of this stuff. We got another red herb. Look at all the herbs I'm not using, man. Alright, so equip that rocket. There we go. And I don't even think you need to evade this attack after the cutscene. You can just pretty much run forward, turn around, use the rocket. Bam, done. So, run forward, turn around, rocket, sorted. Jobs are good un. Alright, so we got a little box here we can open. Usually some good ammo in there. I got rifle ammo, which ain't bad. So don't save it during the chapter end screen here. We're going to save it just after that, and that's for a cheeky little trick we can use to save some time on the next chapter. So let's just say no to the saving thing here. I mean, if you do, it's not a big deal. It doesn't really matter, but we just go to the merchant that's up here and save it. Alright, up we go. Smash open these boxes. Hop down here, and we're going to save it just here.
Take a look. Something's...
There we go. That is that our 14th save? Yeah, so we got one more at the end of this chapter, which works out to 15. I'm going to store up the sensor scope, the hunting knife, craft up a flashbang, put the heavy grenades on a shortcut for myself. I'm buying a couple of resources here. I know we find them a lot, but we want to make sure we've got enough to make loads of flashbangs throughout this chapter. So if you save and load, in this area. I know I saved it and then I went straight back on, but obviously I've edited out me loading. But if you save it, quit out the game, load it, you can run back to the ladder and shoot that enemy that's up here early. If you don't do that, he won't be there. But if you do it, you can shoot him with the snipe and that'll spawn Mike early, and that'll get this area kicked off a little bit faster than usual and save you having to wait around for Mike to arrive, which is really nice. It basically triggers because you've engaged with an enemy. That's kind of how the fight with Mike starts. If you get up here fast enough, you can avoid this cutscene. I was a little bit slow this time, but that's fine. When you get control with Leon again, you want to quickly equip a heavy grenade and chuck it over there, and that'll kill a couple of enemies. You don't have to do that. It's up to you if you want to. It just makes this fight a bit quicker. Although it's not a huge difference. If you've only got one heavy grenade, then keep it for the next section, because that's where we really need one. But if you've got an extra one, it doesn't hurt to throw it over there, kill a couple of enemies, jump on the turret, kill the enemies that are coming out of the cave over there, and then I like to come over here and just use the snipe. I whiffed my shot there, but that's okay. Sometimes these guys take 2 shots in the head to die. Most of the time it's 1, but sometimes it's 2. Kind of frustrating, but Mike will help you out also. Eventually though, he'll leave, so be ready for that. Don't rely on Mike too much, because he'll leave and start lining up to destroy the barricade in this area. You want to grab as much gunpowder off these enemies as you can. You'll see me constantly going into my menu to make flashbangs. Super important to have flashbangs for this chapter, unless you're going to play things a little bit slower. To get through this chapter much quicker than I have previously in runs, we need a lot of flashbangs. So right now I've got 4. I think I end up making 2 more, maybe? So we got 4 right now. I'll try to keep track of them. I think we want 5 before we get to the bit with the Novies. So we're going to run past the rocket launcher, and he'll always miss if you run through. I like to run a little bit along that wall until the archer shoots, and then turn and shoot the barrel. And then we've got this one archer left who usually turns into a Plagas head. Mike will sometimes deal with him, but a lot of the time he won't. You'll have to deal with it yourself. We got these 2 dynamite guys. Watch out for them. Do not get hit by dynamite. That would not be fun for anyone involved. And got a barrel here to blow them up if you want to. Mike can help you out sometimes here though. I'm just trying to kind of get them down so that I can get the gunpowder that they might have. But this guy was a maggot Plaga head, so I decided to just leave him alone and climbed up as he jumped down. So equipping the heavy grenade here, and we're going to go over to the AA gun. Skip this cutscene. We're going to come to about here, look straight up and chuck the nade up there. If it doesn't blow up, you can chuck a normal grenade at it and it will blow up like I had to here. But you can destroy it in one heavy grenade if you hit it properly. So if you mess up, you might want to reload and try again if you're stuck for grenades. But yeah, you can blow it up with one grenade. So as soon as it blows up, I like to look up and snipe the rocket launcher dude that's above us, and then quickly get down here, and then we can run through the gate here. These enemies are scripted to just run through and you can run past them, which is kind of nice. When we get to this ladder, I like to turn around and shoot this turret guy in the leg, because he can sometimes shoot you as you're going up the ladder. Right, so once you get here, this guy, this archer, will run out. Even if he's in the position he was in as he was running, you can wait a second and he'll always run over to that railing, so you can just snipe him nice and easy. I like to snipe him and shoot the other guy that was on the turret. Come over here, pull the switch, throw a flashbang behind you, because the brute is spawning above us. And if you throw a flashbang there, a lot of the time it will stun him. It doesn't always, but it does a lot of the time, which is really useful. Come down here, throw another flashbang up the ladder. Run through this area. There are a ton of enemies in this area, like so many. I like to shotgun this guy in the legs, pull the switch, turn around and shoot him again. I got hit by a Molotov though, so I had to just abandon that strategy and run. Throw a flashbang into the middle of the area, and then literally dip. Just get out of this area. You do not want to stay here a second longer than you have to. You can play that area really slow by hanging back and just taking enemies out. Using Mike to your advantage before he blows up the door. I think the way that door works is the closer you get to it, the sooner Mike will blow it up. So by running at it, you'll cue the cutscene a little bit faster. If you want to play it safe though, you can hang back and just take enemies out. But yeah, I wanted to get through as fast as possible. And that's a pretty decent strategy. Hard to do no damage, but it's pretty consistent when it comes to just getting through. If you've got a couple of heals, man, you should be good to get through there quite easily. As soon as you get control of Leon here, I like to throw a flashbang to stun up as many Novies as possible. And there's the one Novi that won't get hit by the flashbang, so I use the shotgun to take him down. That one Novi usually doesn't get affected by the flashbang, so just be ready to use the shotgun on him. And I'm breaking those barrels to see if we can get some extra gunpowder. If you've got one flashbang right now, it's good enough, but 2 is preferable. So if you've got 2 at this point left, you're in a good spot. There are some barrels and boxes you can break in this area. Leon gets a bit extra by rolling under this door, even though it's pretty much still completely up. Yes, bro. So just be careful avoiding these bags. Break open the boxes. Take a little bit of extra time. There's my extra flashbang, so I've got 2 now. You will only need 2. These are the last 2 flashbangs that we'll really need. I was still looting, I don't know, just because I could, I guess. But there's a hand grenade on the gurney there, which is something we also don't need, but it's, you know, can be a little bit handy to have if you find yourself in a tight spot, I guess. But there's only really one area of combat left. So let's go ahead and turn this thing. Run around this way. Go, go, go. And get out of here. So I didn't break that one box that's on the gurney because there's a Viper in it. There's always a Viper in there. If you need the health item, fair enough, but obviously I don't need that and I just wasn't going to bother with it. Alright, so I'm not sure if I got any extra Magnum ammo. I did, I got an extra 2. If you haven't got it, use the shotgun to kill that enemy. If you've got the Magnum ammo, use it. Use the Magnum to take out that Novi, take out that Novi. And then save 1 more bullet. I like to throw a flashbang about here, get the pistol out, shoot this bear trap so I don't run into it like a dumbass. Grab the Killer 7 out, and you want to look up and take out that rocket launcher guy. Make sure you hit him, because he can cause nightmares. When you get to the top of these stairs, turn around and throw a flashbang up there somewhere. Grab the shotgun out, and we're going to shoot this guy in his right foot, in his back of his right foot. Knock him into the turret by doing that. Go as far left as you can, and you can run straight under the beam for the turret. And avoid having to go around and press the switch. I was trying to just dip out of this area, but the brute was shooting his arrows at me, so I had to duck into that little alcove. And that's it. We're pretty much done with combat. We've just got... Is it Saddle left? Yeah, man, just him left now, and that's just pretty much a rocket launcher fight and then escape. Really straightforward situation. I think there's 2 Novis that we've got to deal with, or 3, something like that. Really straightforward for the last chapter. So... there's a trick you can use in this area called pause buffering that can allow you to skip this little animation, and I wouldn't really call it a glitch, right? To me, a glitch is more something where you're, like, I don't know, glitching out of bounds in the game, but sure enough, I did it in my last run, and I advertised my last run as no glitches, and someone in my comment section was saying, oh, he used glitches, he used pause buffering or something like that, or he used pause buffering. I can't remember what exactly was said. First of all, I didn't realise that pause in the game was a glitch. And I'm in an area where there's no enemies. All it's doing is saving me about 10 seconds, and it was just a fun little thing to see if I could do it. I can't believe that someone would be so picky. Like, a lot of the time, the glitches in this game are used to, like, skip big sections of the game. I skip one little animation just to see if I can. And sure enough, somebody notices it and calls me out on it. So I didn't use it in this run. I didn't use it at all. But yeah, it's just a simple little trick that speedrunners use a lot, to be honest, for different reasons. But for some reason in this area, if you pause the game repeatedly at certain points, it will skip animations that Leon does and save you a little bit of time. I think around here is one of them. You'll see Leon sort of go to his knee and cough and splutter. And if you pause the game on and off repeatedly, like right here, just before he does this, it'll stop him from doing it. But yeah, I did that in my previous run, and someone called me out for it, and I was like, God, man, you're really picking this shit apart, you know? You're reaching a little bit there, man, grasping at straws. But oh well. Alright, so that's pretty much chapter 15 done. We just need to go and put Ashley in the chair. So, if you have watched this far, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I think the next challenge I'm going to be going for is a no saves run. I'll just be doing 1 life. Obviously, I'll be using heals, but getting through the game without saving, I think, would be kind of a cool little challenge to do. I don't think it'll take too long, because I know this game pretty well at this point, but I think it'll be fun. And then after that, I might try and attempt no saves, no damage. But that'll probably take a very long time. A very, very long time. So don't be surprised if after the next video there's a gap in content. But if you're interested in watching me do these challenge runs, come on over to my live stream, man. Twitch.tv/ifreams. Come over there. Put some hair on your chest. And come hang out. We'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. And yeah, get to know me and the community a little better. If you want to ask me something, that's usually the best place to do it. It's just a great way to show support. I'm really trying to push to grow the stream. I have been for a while. It's really difficult to bring people over from YouTube to Twitch. But even if, you know, you're not on Twitch very often, but you're there occasionally, just throw me a follow. You never know, you might enjoy the streams. We do challenge runs. I also play little horror games and just casual things. If you maybe have been around the channel for a while and you miss Let's Plays, that's kind of the place that I do that. That's enough shameless promotion for me. I'm not going to go on about it forever, but yeah. So there's some rifle ammo on the side as you run past in this area.
That woman who helped
And there are 3 Novies that we need to deal with
Oh, I'm sure she's fine.
in this area as well. One of them is right here. They're all camouflaged, so I just like to use the pistol and run past. You don't need to worry about dealing with them all the way. You can just sort of tap them with the pistol and run past, and they'll leave you alone. There's 2 more in this area. I like to jump over this wall and shoot them just before we duck under this pillar. So there's one there, one there. Let's go. Duck under here. Yep. And then we need to just buy our rocket launcher for Sadler. And we're sorted. If you want to do stuff with your inventory, like sell things, you know, sort out weapons, whatever, feel free. I'm just going to get the rocket launcher and get this done. I'm pretty sure if you start a new game on this save, you'll have the weapons. I'm not sure about items, maybe herbs and stuff. I really don't know if they come with you. I know weapons do, and I'm pretty sure money does as well. I don't know if heals do. So right, we're going to shoot Sadler with the rocket launcher. When he jumps down here, he'll go into the cutscene. We've got the second phase. And I heard from someone that you can't do damage with the pistol, or with, well, with any weapon until like the second tentacle swing or something, but I was just using my pistol ammo here because it's like a pea shooter at this point. I thought, why not? And then when I get past that second tentacle swing, I think I start using the rifle just to do a little more damage to him. I've heard that it does speed up the timer in which Ada throws the rocket launcher or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it's not a huge amount of difference. If you just survive here, you'll be fine. Just avoid these tentacles. If you see a tentacle coming up from the right, move to the left. If you see it coming up from the left, move to the right. And look out for the ones that you've got to evade. I had that extra heavy grenade here that we found. Use that. I just kept sniping and really not a fat lot else to see here. Here she is. Pick up that. Shoot him with it. And there we go. Let's get out of here, mate. So the reason I've kept a couple of rounds in the shotgun is because there is one enemy that tries to grab you here. I'm actually not sure if he does damage to you or not when he grabs you. But you can quickly shoot him as you pass through the door to stop him from grabbing you. But let's get out of here. Let's get this run finished, man. I know the video is probably just under 3 hours, but the time was 2 hours 45. If you didn't know, like, cutscene time doesn't count towards game time. And also, we used the typewriter storage a little bit, and the in-game time doesn't go up when you're in the typewriter, which is why I use it a bit more. Helps you save a little bit of time. Yeah, there's the enemy that we need to shoot. And we're out of here. That's it for shooting. Just need to escape now. Get it sorted. This has been a decent little run. I'm quite happy with it. Really happy that I managed to get it in under 3 hours, and 2:45 is a good time. I feel like this run is much more watchable than the 4-hour one. I feel like when a run starts going over 3 hours, people get a little bit like, oh, like it's really long, right? Whereas 2 hours is still long, but it's a little more digestible, I guess you could say. Alright, so if you full-on accelerate throughout this section, you should end up, I think, with like 15-20 seconds left at the end. Pretty sure I was holding accelerate the entire time. And if, you know, the jet ski gets damaged here, it doesn't damage Leon, but I still wanted to get through without getting hit, same as the minecart section and Del Lago. I just wanted to make sure I got through without taking any damage. You can see my life bar down at the bottom. Bumping into some of the debris doesn't do any damage, so I don't really care about that. But yeah, you can also do flips on the jet ski, man, which is pretty cool. And the game gives you 1,000 pesetas every time you do a trick on the jet ski, which is kind of funny. Alright. And away we go. Almost done then. So, if you're into no damage runs, I've recently done some no damage runs. I've done Callisto Protocol. I've done Dead Space as well. I've got a few others. There's other no damage runs kicking around my channel. I've done Dead Space 2 as well. Dead Space 3 is still on the list. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, I have done a few of them. There will be more coming, I assure you. I want to do a lot of the other Resident Evil games. I know some of you guys really enjoy these no damage runs. Like I mentioned before, if you're into watching me do challenge runs, you want to see how I put these things together or watch me do them live, come on over to my live stream channel at twitch.tv/ifreams. If you want to support me over here, just drop a like and a comment. Subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. There'll be more content coming soon, and some other content will be linked around on the screen for you as well, if that's something you're interested in. Thank you all very much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and until next time, take it easy.